Defining images, defining moments, defining emotions, and coming in 2011, March Madness. This is Turner Sports.
Welcome to Infineon.
Good afternoon. Happy Father's Day to all of you dads out there, including my own. I'm Lindsay Zarniak, and this is Countdown to Green. I'm joined by two very devoted fathers themselves, Larry McReynolds, Kyle Petty. Good day so far, gentlemen?
Good day. Good day.
How can it not be bad? I mean, look at this weather, and we're in wine country. It doesn't get any better than that.
So I talked to my dad. He's at home tinkering on his iPad. I said, as long as you watch the race today, we're all good. But what a race, you guys. I mean, the first road course race of this season so far. What is the mindset going into this one today?
Here's what I love about the two road courses here that we run, including here and Watkins Glen. It wasn't that many years ago. In fact, in 1989, the first time we came here, the teams would just take the viewpoint, it's just a road course race. Let's just get through it. Let's have a good points day. But the effort these teams are putting in their road racing today, and I think that's one reason, wasn't that many years ago, you could count who could win a road course race on one hand and have fingers left over. Now it's just about as hard to pick the winner here as it was at Michigan last week or Loudon next week.
Exactly, and Larry speaks about it from the perspective of how many road course cars there are here. Now you look at it and I say how many road course drivers there are in the Cup Series. We see Jimmie Johnson a couple of weeks ago going up to Watkins Glen and running a sports car race just to get in the rhythm of being in a road course. All these guys, they're great racers, and we always like to talk about the Cup guys being the cream of the crop, but road racers they are now.
The testing is becoming so much more significant as well.
No question. They're testing for these two road course races more than they are anywhere else. A lot to do with the testing policy that NASCAR has.
Got to get the edge. The man that should be toasting the bubbly here is certainly Denny Hamlin. Hamlin clearly on a roll, going for a hat trick today after winning the last two races. So that means Joe Gibbs Racing has now won 7 of the last 10. Call me crazy, but can I say that the reins have now been shifted to Gibbs Racing in this series?
I honestly think, especially with the 11 team, we saw this starting to happen at the end of 2009. That team won 3 of the last 11 races. Honestly, on track, they outperformed the 48 car, but they had those little snafus with the engine failures, the little bit of a bonehead move that Denny Hamlin made on the restart in California. Absolutely. It started the end of last year, but I just think even though those drivers at Gibbs had that little bit of tiff at the All-Star race, I think those guys complement each other, and I think they drive each other to be better.
And that's the point. They push each other. And if you've got a Kyle Busch, and if you've got a Denny Hamlin, and you've got a Joey Logano in the wings, then you're looking at a team that has the potential to be the Hendrick organization of the future because they're building.
Kyle, I know that you absolutely love Jimmie Johnson, but Joe Gibbs told me that he's like, Jimmie Johnson is still the guy to beat. Do you agree with Joe?
Yeah, I do. You know, you talk about the reign shifting. I think we see a turning of the ship. Okay, it's a big ship. Jimmie's won 4 championships in a row. You don't just take over the reins from Hendrick, from Chad, from Jimmie in 10 or 11 races. I just don't think you can do that. But it is, they found a chink in the armor somewhere, whether it's the wing to the spoiler, whether it's whatever they're doing right now. Jimmie's made a couple of mistakes. We talk about Denny's bonehead mistake last year. Jimmie's made a couple of mistakes this year, I think, that have taken them out of an opportunity to at least be in contention for a couple of those races.
I just think there's some things going on in Hendrick camp. For example, the little bit of battle that the 24 and the 48 had. Mark Martin, the unknown of 2011.
Yeah.
And then I think the fact of just Dale Jr.'s year that he's having, and of course he hadn't won a race in over 2 years. I think there's so many things outside of the racetrack that maybe is affecting that organization.
Yeah, and you talked about Jimmie Johnson. We are going to hear from him. He'll join us here on the set in a little bit. Certainly he's looking for his road course victory here. This track is so difficult, not just because it's hard to pass, but because you're always kind of waiting around for somebody to make a boneheaded mistake. Right now, we're going to toss it up to our guys in the booth who have taken turns driving around this thing, Adam Alexander and Wally Dallenbach.
Lindsay, there's no question Infineon Raceway, one of the great venues as far as pictures are concerned in all of NASCAR. And Wally, when you talk about opportunities, this place good for that as well for a number of different drivers.
Sure, I mean, we could see a first-time winner like Marcos Ambrose pull it off here. Or maybe we'll get a guy that hasn't won yet this year like a Jeff Gordon or a Kasey Kahne or maybe one of the Roush cars. So it really is it's a clean slate because they're not really running road courses that often. So they come here and it really is different. It's refreshing for these guys.
Now later in Wally's world, we're going to talk a lot about turn 11, and that is very well where this race could be won or lost for a driver later today. But there are some other areas of opportunity here at this place.
Just about every corner there's an opportunity for disaster. But two places you got to really watch is up in turn 4 and turn 7. The right-handers there, I've seen a lot of guys having brake problems this weekend. There's a lot of guys that are locking up front brakes. And whenever that happens, especially in traffic, normally there's contact. So those are going to be two areas that I think we're going to be focusing on today.
I know you love this stuff. You've got an extra energy about you today. No doubt we're looking forward to the coverage later on, Lindsay.
Thank you, guys. A little different perspective there. I like that scenery behind him. So if you can't be here with us in wine country, or maybe you are and you want to get even closer to the action, we have our friend and yours, Race Buddy, back for another season. All you have to do is log on to NASCAR.com. You can see real-time camera feeds, and then during the race, you'll get live updates from Larry McReynolds and myself. We're also reading your questions, so you never know. We might answer your question right here on our pre-race show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with NASCAR's latest four-time champion on the other side of this break.
Coming up on Countdown to Green, Junior, Jimmie, and Jeff sit down together and open up about pressure, infighting, and who has it the toughest. Plus, Wally's World shows us how to get around this tricky track. And Pride of NASCAR features the versatile West Coast racer Parnelli Jones. It's all right around the corner as the countdown continues. Countdown to Green is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance. Play the Nationwide Insurance Code Spotter Sweepstakes for your chance to win a custom Roush Ford Mustang. Enter now at codespotter.com. The more codes you spot, the more chances you have to win.
Father's Day is kind of special to me because we get to race on it, and it's a good way to think of him and all the sacrifices he's made for me to work so hard to give me the opportunities I have to be where I'm at now.
Hey, I'm Greg Biffle. I want to wish my dad happy Father's Day, and to all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day.
Greg Biffle would love to get a win for his father today. How about winning $1 million for your dad? Put your NASCAR knowledge to the test. You could be $1 million richer after this race just by watching along with us. It's called the $1 Million Fan Challenge. It's a bit like fantasy racing, but with a huge payoff. All you have to do is go to NASCAR.com, set your top 10 finishers. You can even change your lineup during the race up to lap 27. If you know your stuff, you could win up to $1 million. Speaking of $1 million, Marcos Ambrose told me he goes panning for gold normally when he's out here. But if there's one guy that I think might be able to beat him today, could be Denny Hamlin. He's standing by with our Matt Yoakum.
He's been a great pick so far. 5 wins this season, 3rd in the championship standings. When you look at your chase for that elusive first Sprint Cup championship, do you like the timeline you're seeing of your team's success and how it's continuing to build?
Yeah, I mean, things are going so well for us right now. It's hard not to be happy with everything that's going on, and You know, regardless of what happens later in the season, we're going to enjoy the success that we're having right now. And the whole FedEx team, it's just so exciting. I mean, I like coming to Sonoma because I get to spend a little bit more time with the guys. You know, there's no motorhomes here or anything, so it's just good to see everyone, you know, as happy as they are right now.
You're still chasing that first Sprint Cup win on a road course. You look at the storylines today. You've got the tire issue where we're seeing fall off of about 2 seconds. You're seeing double fall restarts, which we had last year. But the big one, green, white, checkered finish, up to 3 of them. How is that going to change up today's strategy?
You know, we won't know until about 15 laps to go. And I think you're going to have a lot of guys that are going to make their bed early saying, okay, we're not going to pit anymore. But then you're going to have guys about 10th place or so that are going to say, all right, we're not going to win unless we come in and get tires. But how many times are they going to do it? Because we could have up to 3 green, white checkers. Everyone's going to cut fuel mileage as tight as possible, not plan for the green, white checkers, and hope the caution don't come out. So I think this today you're liable to see a winner that nobody really expects.
Well, he's had a great run on TNT so far in 2010. Looking for his first road course victory. Lindsay, his best ever finish, 2nd on a road course.
Thank you, Matt Yoakum. Well, a trio of Hendrick drivers is liking a little bit of money for a good cause to help make a difference. They'll also take success at this track if they can find it. California native Jeff Gordon leads with wins and poles at this track. You can never, though, count out Jimmie Johnson. And then there's Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's trying to ride last week's momentum. Our Ralph Shaheen had a chance to sit down with the trio to talk about Project Pepsi Refresh. Each of them came up with an idea to help in the community, and the one that will get the most fan votes wins $100,000 to make that dream come true. We begin with the 4-time champion.
Yeah, the project for me would be the bone marrow, like the Hendrick bone marrow project would be my idea. It's just extremely expensive one, and then there's a lot of things that insurance doesn't pick up and covers. So the Marrow Foundation project would be the one I'm looking at.
How about you, Jeff? What are you going to do if you get the big check?
You know, at the Jeff Gordon Children's Hospital, we've got a children's advocacy center that we want to build a new child life program for kids that are physically and sexually abused. We want to get the best experts and staff that we possibly can, as well as you know, continue to treat them with the latest technology.
How about you, Dale? What do you got in mind if you get that big money?
My project's about improving technology in schools. I wanted to kickstart it with putting in computer labs and upgrading a lot of facilities. Hopefully we'll get lucky and win the grant.
4 times a little upset. I guess they thought you got into him, I guess. Oh, he's treated different than everybody else. So Earl, did I pick a bad time to switch down to the bottom? If you haven't yet, Earl, maybe apologize to the 24th spotter. I made a bad decision, I think, there.
It's competition. We have a great deal of respect for each other, for the company we drive for, and we get out on that racetrack, and you're always trying to, you know, walk that line in the right way. And you know, I certainly lost my cool in a few cases, and then made a mistake, which at Talladega, which kind of set the thing off and got it even more excited. But I'm glad that's behind us, and I'm glad we're now talking about the Gibbs guys and then even Joey and Harvick.
What were you thinking, Dale, when all that was going on?
I just grabbed some popcorn and sat back and
enjoyed the show.
I was loving that. It's just like everything else. When you're in the middle of it, you're not happy about it. But when you're able just to sit back and watch it, it's always entertaining.
How does it get resolved? Is it? I mean, you two know each other. Is it Mr. H? Does he handle it? Really?
Yeah. Once you get that call, he says, "I want you to be on the phone at this time on this day." That pretty much is the end of it right there before you ever get into the phone call.
You know, Junior, there's some speculation as to how frustrating things must be for you. Is this frustration really there for you, or is this just part of the process?
We came into the season seeing some areas where we had gotten better, but we're not, you know, we're still a team that needs to improve on a lot of things, and we've got to do it in a hurry.
Do you think we know you? Do we really know Dale Jr. as fans and media?
Yeah, I don't know. You tell me. I mean,
it's odd hearing him being asked that question because I get that question all the damn time.
Yeah.
You know, who are you? Do we know you? Why aren't you like so-and-so? So I guess everyone is.
Do you guys think we know him? Because I'm sure you probably see him in a different light than we do, like when we interview him and that sort of thing.
Ralph, do we know you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think he is able to be himself more than anybody out there. But I don't know him. I mean, I've been to his house. I've hung out with him, and he's cool. But I'm like, man, I have no idea what he does, 20 of the other hours that, I wasn't there.
Three of you ever chatted about, hey, you know what? We carry a lot of weight within the sport. What can we do to help keep the sport moving forward?
Honestly, NASCAR does a great job, and this group here has been in those conversations with them, and every time I've been in a talk with NASCAR and you start to see the whole picture, you go, wow, I sure am glad I'm not making those decisions, because, from the competitor side of it, it's easy for you to say, oh, I'd do this and do this and do that, but then once you see, the ramifications of all that, you go, wow, they're doing a really good job. They've got a lot of information at their fingertips.
How important is 7 titles to you two?
You want it, but I don't know how real that is. I mean, it's tough world out there. Just to win 4 is pretty hard.
To me, it's my goal to try to win 1 Chase championship, and yet that number 7 still floats out there as, the ultimate goal. And I'm telling you, if he wins 7, to me it blows away the 7 that has been done in the past, because I look at the 4 that he's done, and I think that, shoot, I'd just like to have 1 of those.
Which one has it the toughest? Is it toughest being Dale Jr. because of the legacy? Is it tougher being Jeff Gordon? Or who's got it the best?
It's probably easiest on Jeff. Probably.
I agree. I was gonna say, man, I can't wait to hear this this one. Please.
He's got a championship to back up every year, and everybody knows my deal. So Jeff just sort of travels under the radar. Goes home to the wife and kids. Puts his feet up on the coffee table.
Oh man, we so don't know one another, do we?
I don't think it'd be too tough to be in Jimmie Johnson's shoes right now. The 4-time champion has stopped by to join us. We have so much we want to talk to you about, but before we do that, we want to show you a question that I had with Mike Helton, NASCAR president, when asked about your success so far in this series.
Okay.
It's kind of like a president's presidency. That it takes 3 or 4 changes of the guard, so to speak, for people to go back and say, wow, he really was significant. He is a race car driver of the NASCAR definition.
What do you think when you hear that?
It's great to hear Mike, talk about the different champs, and I assume where that conversation is going is based on, my 4 championships being popular with some, with my fans, and maybe not so popular with others.
You said it.
So, playing on that note, I think that during any time I've seen somebody have great success, and I saw just a little bit from afar when Earnhardt was dominating, people really didn't like that. When Gordon was dominating, people really didn't like that. So I am very proud to have a lot of people not happy that I'm winning. And I hope to keep that going. Yeah. But we'll see.
Okay.
All right, first of all, let me be the first officially on our countdown to green to wish you happy Father's Day.
Yes.
Baby Day's getting very close.
Yes.
Very close. But what I wanted to go to, Jimmie, is you're still looking for your first road course win. Your team has been working hard on your road course racing, but you've been working hard. You ran the 24-hour race at Daytona, and then you were at Watkins Glen a couple of weeks ago running that race. So both parties have been working hard, and you qualified second here.
Yeah, we did, and we've been able to qualify well on the road courses. We've lacked speed over the long run, and I feel that yesterday in practice we showed that if it's in the car or me or a combination of both, that we're doing a better job of that. And I think that running these other road course races, the cars are a lot faster, perform better. Things happen much quicker in them. My line of thought is if I do that, when I come back to these cars, I can slow things down and have a better sense of what the car is doing, understand the braking zone better. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it for right now. And we'll see what happens by the end of the day.
If you don't win, we'll blame it on Chad.
Poor guy.
I think over the past 4 years, we've watched this team. We've watched you. We've watched Hendrick. We've watched Chad. And from the outside, we don't see mistakes. You guys, I know, see mistakes internally. But from the outside. But over recent weeks, we've seen little mistakes creep out that we've never seen. I do think reports of your demise are greatly exaggerated, okay? Because you're like 7.
Pull the plug.
But how do you guys
6.
address
I'm
these?
6 now. I've moved
okay,
up the spot.
you have, okay. How do you guys address that in turn? I mean, when you go back to the shop on Monday, whether it's a speeding penalty because you didn't know where you were at, whether it's an accident that happened, nothing you could do about the 43 car in Darlington. I mean, but how do you guys address that?
You know, as you know, when you're in the garage area and in your pit and on your race team, you know, this stuff happens throughout the course of any given season, and we've been through it before. There's a lot more attention that's been paid to it, and I guess I have to look and say that's because there are high expectations based on the 4 championships we've won. So I've watched Jeff experience it, and I'm certainly now stepping into that category as well, that there is a huge magnifying glass on you and your race team, and you've just got to learn to deal with it and accept it and go on. So, you know, I've always made mistakes. I've made some in May that were a little more noticeable than other times, and I think a lot of it's because people are paying attention and expecting so much out of this race team. But, you know, we'll go on, and as long as I can be clean in those final 10, we'll be in good shape.
Yeah. You know, Jimmy, a lot of our viewers may not realize it, but I watched you about a week and a half ago go up to Eldora. And not that your forte is dirt racing, but you absolutely wore those guys out. Tony Stewart, all the dirt racers led all 30 laps of that race.
That was so much fun. I grew up racing, you know, in off-road trucks with jumps and everything, and the dirt cars were a much different feeling than when I grew up driving. And this year I decided to not test, and I think that was helpful because I was taking some bad habits from a small, tight racetrack to that big sweeping corner at Eldora. And I qualified well, which was really important, and then you know, got going at the start and kept the lead and won that race. And that was very cool to experience that and outrun those boys.
Speaking of Chad, why do you grow the beard?
To irritate Chad.
Do you really?
Yeah, well, I don't mind it. My wife likes it.
That's
you know,
all that
being a new
matters.
father, I might need to shave it off for some baby photos here in the future. We'll
You
see.
said Chad's going to babysit,
Yeah,
right?
Chad's, you know, I've been beating up on him here lately, and May was tough, so maybe I should cut him some slack.
Yeah, cut him a break. Before we let you go, do we know the real Jimmie Johnson?
I don't know. I don't even know if I know myself.
Yeah, that's good answer. All right, go get down there for driver interest.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Well, the storylines in the garage are flowing like the wine here in Sonoma, but we've got you covered by the best in the business. For more now about Kurt Busch and to find out what cars he'll be following on pit road, we kick things off with Matt Yoakum.
And Lindsay, when you look at Carl and Roger Penske, I don't think any owner is more versatile at winning races and championships than Penske. His first win was a very special one in NASCAR back in 1973. We'll take a look back at that run at Riverside, a historical day, a little later on today. Ralph Shaheen?
You know, Matt, Kyle Busch ended an 8-race streak of finishing in the top 10 last week at Michigan. Here at Infineon Raceway in 2008, he stood right here in Victory Lane. In fact, that year, he went on to win both road course races, picking up Watkins Glen as well. He's hoping that maybe today he can start a streak of standing back here in Victory Lane. To Marty.
Well, Ralph, on my end of pit road, probably be talking a lot today about Tony Stewart, the most recent road course winner in this very race car at Watkins Glen last year. Now, Friday in practice, Stewart struggled. They tried some things they learned at a test a couple of weeks ago at another road course that didn't quite apply here to Sonoma. So for qualifying and race practice yesterday, they went back to the old setup Smokers always use here at Sonoma, and it worked like a charm. And in fact, in a few minutes, we'll talk to Tony Stewart and find out how confident he is in the wine country. Let's go to Phil Parsons.
Marty, this is Brian Vickers' car. When he was diagnosed with blood clots a few weeks ago, the Red Bull team replaced him with Casey Mears for 3 races. They've already said this week that they're going to put Reed Sorensen in for the next 3 races. But for this race here at Infineon, they're going to turn to the 2-time German touring car champion, Matthias Ekstrom, to drive this 83 Red Bull car. A great road racer, 2-time champion over there in Germany, and he will start this race back in the 30s. Lindsay.
Thank you, Phil. Well, we are just getting things started here. When we come back, closer to going green, and Jeff Burton, driver of the 31, is
era at that time when we started to get braking, and when you're racing against the Woods brothers, you know, Pearson, you know, Bobby Allison, the guys that were in that race just are amazing to think that we could go there with that Matador. And to me, Riverside was a special place, and to come there and win with the big boys, that was pretty special to us.
Before he was racing's most prolific owner, Penske was an award-winning wheelman. One of his proudest drives took place at Riverside in '63.
What a day for me. I didn't qualify the first weekend. Started kind of in the middle of the pack, bumped somebody. I remember I had the front end pushed in, but went on to lead and win that race. You know, Parnelli Jones and the teams that we were racing against out there was terrific. Ironically, I won that race and came back and wanted to come into the Speedway. They wouldn't let me in because I was a NASCAR driver, so things have sure changed now.
We mentioned driver P.J. Jones. His father is a legend of the sport who also had success at Riverside. He was inducted into the International Motorsports Hall of Fame in 1990 and is recognized as a driver whose versatility is unmatched in racing. Put it this way, if it had wheels, he could race it, but there is one trophy that means more to Jones than any other. He shared that with Matt Yoakum in this week's Pride of NASCAR.
Parnelli Jones in car number 15 takes the lead.
Parnelli has adjusted quickly to sports car racing and finds traffic a cinch.
The checkered flag is down, and the winner of the Milwaukee 250 for stock cars, Parnelli Jones.
I mean, I had a lot of desire, a lot of will to win, and can't stand to lose type of thing, you know. And that propelled me probably more than anything. And I think there's a lot of good race drivers around that have a lot of talent and everything else. But I had to learn to slow down and concentrate on what I was doing instead of trying to win the race in the first corner.
Out of the turn, Parnelli Jones under A.J. Foyt in the 47 car to take back the lead.
Who was the guy that really drove you to be better?
I didn't, honest to God, I felt that I was better. I mean, I had that attitude. I mean, I went wheel to wheel with Foyt, won a lot of races against AJ. I mean, AJ won a lot of races I fell out of. I mean, don't get me wrong, AJ's a good race driver and all that, but I felt that I was every bit as good, if not better, than he. But AJ and I run wheel to wheel in midgets and sprint cars. I mean, we look at each other and think, well, we're lucky we're here.
When you look at your racing resume, you walk into your office and you can see the checkered flag that waved over you when you won the 1963 Indy 500. Can you, to this day, even put into words what that day meant to you?
I remember waking up about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and running into the bathroom and looking in the mirror to make sure I wasn't dreaming. Winning that race means everything to me, you know. I mean, obviously, you know, I had friends that say, man, you're racing, that's dangerous, you're gonna kill yourself, blah, blah. And I said, look, if I ever win Indy, I'll quit, you know. But, you know, that was kind of my goal, and it's then you change it from time to time. And I also was, I set my goals financially along the way, you know, and, you know, I wanted to get someplace. I remember when I first made $10,000, I figured if I could put it in the bank, draw 10% interest, I would never have to work again.
Run road courses, you could run short tracks, you could run stock cars. Is that why you saw like people like yourself and Journey dominate the Riverside races every year?
When I went to road racing, it was like a duck in the water. I mean, it just came so natural for me. I don't know why. I mean, even in other races in USAC, I won the stock car championship in USAC, and we ran some road courses and stuff like that. And I just, when I go out, right away I'd be much quicker than everybody, and then eventually they'd close up on me, but it just came natural for me. I don't know, road racing might have missed my calling.
When you look through history, a lot of car owners are successful, but not many were legends behind the wheel, and you were really one of the first. How are you able to carry over your success from being a driver to being a car owner?
Well, first of all, I had a good partner, Bell, and Firestone was really behind us, I mean, at the time, and helped us a great deal. I had the knowledge of knowing where to go, so We had a chance to buy the team, bought the building that they were in Indianapolis, and wound up bringing their knowledge and our knowledge and put it together with the car, my knowledge that I had on setups and that sort of thing. And we had a good driver. We brought a lot to the chassis, you know, things that could help it, and made the car real dominant.
What does it mean to you to be in, you know, over 5 or 6 different Racing Hall of Fames?
Well, that's when you're proud of your career. I mean, that's something that is stapled on the wall, so to speak, and I'm very proud of that. It's nice to be honored, you know, as in your sport, and not only some of them by your peers. And you know, I'm just thrilled with that.
NASCAR legend and other racing legend, you can say Parnelli Jones. I love that story about him looking to see that trophy in the middle of the night. Larry, how rare is it, though, to have a driver with that much versatility?
And versatile, certainly Parnelli Jones was. You know, in a 15 period, he ran, it was like 34 cup races. He won 4 times, which is a pretty good winning percentage, but he did it on 2 different road courses, and 2 of his other wins were on dirt.
Goodness. We have some sad news, though, as well today that we want to pass on. We learned this morning about the passing of another legend, Raymond Parks. And I know, Kyle, you had a chance to speak with his family. You also did a Pride of NASCAR on him.
Yeah, you know, and it is sad because Raymond was mid-90s. He had Alzheimer's. But in comparison, for the fans that are out there today, in comparison is Raymond was the original Rick Hendrick. I want you to think about Rick Hendrick today and what he means to the sport. That's what Raymond Parks meant to the sport. He's got that very first championship trophy. So, I mean, we had Jimmie Johnson here that's got 4 of them.
Yeah.
Raymond's got that first one from 1948, so it's a sad day for the sport.
We're coming back. When we do, we're getting closer to green. We are just getting things started here on TNT. Welcome back to Countdown to Green on TNT. Here in Sonoma, we are 27 miles from that to explain why turn 11 isn't the prettiest place to be.
Now here at Sonoma, being lucky and good through the hairpin, well, that's an important element to winning at this road course. Now you must get into and through this turn as smooth and fast as possible because it is the best passing zone on this racetrack. It's really pretty simple. If the front tires are locked up, the car won't turn. Now, case in point, check out the 11 of Denny Hamlin. The right front locks up under braking. Watch again. Now, when that happens, you wind up losing a lot of time. But worst of all, some innocent driver, like Forrest said here, well, he's going to wind up getting clobbered. Drivers have to hit their marks in this turn each lap with the least amount of mistakes possible in order to be in a position to win. And here I sit with a fine bottle of wine, waiting for my buddy Larry Mack, who's late with cheese and crackers.
That Wally's probably not sharing. Our expert Larry McReynolds won here 3 times more than any other crew chief. He's standing by the TNT off-track race car, or Torque as we call it for short, presented by Toyota. Larry, first of all, did you take the cheese and crackers and eat them all? And also, what are your keys for this race?
There's no wine, there's no cheese, there's no crackers left. We're about ready to leave here. Now, here are my keys to winning here at Infineon Raceway. The biggest thing is stick to your game plan, stick to your strategy. Unless something happens that really is bad and makes you change your game plan, no matter what the competition does, you have to stay on your game plan. The other thing is stay on the racetrack. Asphalt is good, dirt is bad. You will not win this race if you get on the dirt. The other thing is you have to be easy on equipment. This place is hard on everything. It's 110 laps with about 11 turns. It's hard on brakes. It's hard on the engines, especially on the downshift. It's going to be hard on the transmissions. You're going to be shifting about a dozen times a lap. It's hard on the rear end gear, especially on those downshifts. It's hard on sheet metal. And Lindsey and Kyle, probably in the last 15 laps, it's going to be hard on someone's feelings.
Oh, thank you, Larry. I know that Kyle Petty has had his share of turns around this track. You've also had your share of trips around the bay, we can say. For as beautiful as the waters surrounding San Francisco can be, it's also pretty cold. Kyle Petty found out firsthand and tried to reel in some fun in San Francisco Bay with his friend Rutledge. Here is this week's Ponytail Express.
Come on. If you want to see how a life jacket's worn, guys, just ask Rutledge. He'll show you how to put one on. Kick back, relax, and let's go fishing.
We think we spotted the elusive hatfish. There's not a lot of them. Really rare. Like they're very, very rare.
Hey.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Get that hat. Get that hat. Yeah.
In the box.
Oh, my God.
In the box.
Get it right. Get it right.
In the box.
There it is.
Oh, thank God.
If the Ponytail Express your favorite show, jump up and down.
Oh!
They love your show.
That's just not right. Kyle Petty, at least your ponytail didn't get wet, right? All right, stick around. Coming up on Countdown to Green, we'll talk about some more success stories. Jamie McMurray, second fastest in happy hour. He broke the news to us that he and his wife are expecting their first child. Congratulations to the McMurrays. We'll be right back.
You're watching Countdown to Green on TNT.
A lot of fathers out there on the racetrack today looking for a road course. Include Clint Boyer down to Juan Pablo Montoya, even a few drivers below that. There are still plenty that still have a legitimate shot of making it into the chase. What are your thoughts when you look at that graphic?
Well, the most points that you can gain or lose in one race is 161 points. But I honestly believe, even with 11 races to go, that we're going to have one of the tightest battles in the race to the chase that we've had in the 6 to 7 year history of this. But the good news for all the teams that are way back there with 11 races to go, you can only gain or lose 161 points. As long as you're within 1,771 points of the top 12, you still have hope.
You know who likes to hear that? Juan Pablo Montoya. He is standing by right now with one of our pit reporters.
Well, we're down here with Juan Pablo Montoya getting ready to go racing here today. Juan, you won this race in 2007. Last year you were points racing trying to get into the chase, so you couldn't really go after the victory. Which way do we go today?
You know, I know we were quite a ways in the points, and this Target Chevrolet has been really good. I don't know. It's hard to say. You know, we have to wait and see. There seems to be a lot of good cars. I think tires are going to be a big factor today, different than normal. I think you're going to see some cars in field strategy and some cars putting tires on and trying to go fast. So it'll be quite a challenge.
Marty, when he won that race here in 2007, he joined the greats Dan Gurney and Mario Andretti as the only drivers to win in Formula One, IndyCars, and NASCAR Sprint Cup Tour.
Well, when it comes to road course racing here in the Sprint Cup Series, Tony Stewart, certainly one of the best. Just now back in that top 12 smoke. How do you balance the need to get a nice top 10 today versus the desire and ability to go for the win?
You don't even worry about the first part. You just worry about the second part, and that's going after the win. So, you know, we got Gene Haas and everybody from Haas Automation out here, and obviously the Office Depot people and Old Spice people here. So, you know, this is a big race for us, and, you know, we go out every week worrying about the win. I mean, when you get closer to Richmond, you worry about it the last couple weeks. But, you know, right now, if you win the race, the points take care of itself. So just going for the win.
And, of course, a special Father's Day as well as Dad Nelson here this weekend. He's been here all year long, but got to ride around the track with him. A special treat for Dad earlier today, Lindsay.
Thanks, Marty. You know, I believe Tony Stewart because I think he's been very, very frustrated. He almost needs a win for confidence. Kyle, what are your thoughts right now on a strategy that the 14 would be looking for?
Tony's always had one strategy: win. That's it. I've never seen Tony be a points racer. You know, some guys talk it and they talk that talk and they walk that walk too. Tony never talks the talk about being a points racer. He come to win this race. He'll go to win next week in New Hampshire. He'll go to win Daytona, and he'll go to win Chicago. And when he gets to Richmond, then the chips will lay where they are.
Exactly. Well, we know someone who has momentum is a driver that was pulling double duty. Those guys that chose to run today's race as well as yesterday's NASCAR Nationwide Series race, well, you could say they're crazy, they're tired, but they did get a well-planned warm-up. The series took to the road course at Road America yesterday in Wisconsin. Here's how they finished. Pole sitter Carl Edwards won that race. Second behind him, Ron Fellows, and then the chippy Brendan Gaughan came in third. Fans, you can keep up with all your favorite drivers by checking out the Nationwide Insurance on Your Side race review only on NASCARNationwideSeries.com. Some history as we go to break. Ground was broken here at this track in August 1968. 720 acres of dairy farmland. It was the late Dale Earnhardt who earned his only road course win here at Infineon in 1995. It was years, though, before that, 1989, when Ricky Rudd won the inaugural race at this track. Kasey Kahne likes this place too, earned his first road course win here last year. He starts from the pole today. He won that first Cup win for team owner Richard Petty since 1999, his first. That was when he got his last victory.
Countdown to Green is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15%. Call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO or visit us at geico.com. And by new Gillette Fusion Pro Glide. Turn shaving into gliding and skeptics into believers.
Oh, that's so wrong.
Welcome back to Countdown to Green. We told you before about the $1 Million Fan Challenge. Kyle Petty tweets so much, I'm convinced you're doing it under a different name. A unique opportunity to choose your top 10 finishers on NASCAR.com. There's a big payoff. You can change up to lap 27, so you constantly can be changing your different strategy. If you guess correctly, you could win up to $1 million. Yes?
We're only 2 weeks into it, and last week at Michigan, someone got 10 of 10 right. They just wasn't quite in the right order, and that's only 2 weeks into it.
But 10 of 10. How do you
That's
get 10 of 10? That is unbelievable.
It is crazy.
Any track.
Is that what, are you giving people advice? Is that what
I'm
you're
not
doing
giving
with your
anybody
tricky little fingers over there?
Look, I can't get 1 of 1. That's all. And they're doing 10 of 10? No, not going to happen.
If you could get 10 of 10, then you might be smiling as much as the driver who right now is standing by with our pit reporter, Phil Parsons. It's Kasey Kahne. He's living right. He finished second last week in Michigan, starts from the pole today. Phil, what's going on with the driver of the number 9?
Well, Lindsay, Kasey Kahne came out here last year. You'd run a road course 10 times, never had a top 10 finish, and then you come out here and out-duel Tony Stewart, one of the best road races we have. How did you do that, and how are you going to make it 2 in a row?
Well, last year I had a great Budweiser forward, and I had another one on Friday when we qualified for the poles. So it's nice. You have to have lots of forward drive. You can't be slipping the tires, and this track's gonna get really slippery today, similar to last year. So we'll see how the car is on a long run. But you know, if we can run consistent lap times, keep track position, hopefully we'll be in position late in the race.
Lindsay, Kasey will roll off from the pole today.
Thank you very much, Phil. All right, gentlemen, it's almost time to go. Predictions, though, from each of you. Who's your driver to end up in victory lane?
Jeff Gordon. That's my guy today.
And you know what? I'm going to have to go with that. You know, the guy, he's been under the radar.
Yes.
He qualified 5th. He has 5 wins here. Ella's got him a Father's Day gift, but
Okay.
Big Daddy wants to take Ella the Infineon trophy.
Exactly.
Okay, wow, you both picked the same thing. I'm going to say number 47. From Infineon Raceway, the drivers are getting set. Let's go trackside for our pre-race ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as the Joint Services Color Guard presents our nation's colors. NASCAR lost 2 motorsports pioneers this week. Les Richter recently passed away at the age of 79. Les achieved extraordinary success as both a NASCAR executive and a National Football League defensive star, and was instrumental in helping grow NASCAR in the western region of the United States. Earlier this morning, Raymond Parks passed away at the age of 96. Parks was one of the original founders of the sport on that famous day at the Streamline Hotel in 1947. Let's now observe a moment of silence in memory of both of these pioneers. Remain standing as Infineon Raceway track minister Tim Boovey offers today's invocation.
On this Father's Day, O God, we thank you for men like Les who set an example worthy of others to follow. Help us to realize that to be a true champion in life doesn't mean we have to win races, be the most skilled or daring, but it does require us to do our best in all ways. Whether driving cars or fixing them, whether in service to our country or to one another, help us to be winners in your eyes, O God, above all other things. Amen.
In honor of our troops, please place your hand over your heart as Robin Meade, lead news anchor for HLN's morning show, Morning Express with Robin Meade, performs our national anthem.
Say, can you see behind the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in there, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave.
The scenery could not be prettier, but not a picnic today at this road course for the drivers. When we come back, it is time to fire up the engines and go racing.
In the heart of a valley known for its fine wine and tranquil ambience lies a racetrack suited to its surroundings, a far cry from the roughhouses of NASCAR's superspeedways. 12 delicate turns wind through the sloping hillsides, waiting to be navigated with finesse. The perfect landscape for an afternoon drive. That's what they want you to think. The second you drive like a gentleman here, you'll be turned around, discombobulated, exposed. Stomping feet is warranted in wine country, but the speed changes can be deceiving. The boys drive even harder here. There is an opportunity to gain a lot of points for those who attack the course with confidence, while the timid gingerly maneuver their way. This place could be the equalizer that cools off a hot hand, or it could be another track conquered for a fast-growing star. Either way, this ain't no Sunday drive. This is NASCAR, and this is Sonoma on TNT.
Welcome back to NASCAR on TNT from the vast countryside in Sonoma, California. Miles of vineyards make this one of the most popular Chief Larry. What do you know?
Well, I'm going to look at the trends of the patterns it takes maybe to get the victory lane here. This is the averages of the last 9 June races here at Infineon that the crew chiefs will be looking at. The first caution Average around lap 20, but 4 times before lap 5. The longest green flag run, 34 laps. Promise you we'll see green flag stops. The last caution flag, average lap 95. That's about 15 to go within the last 2 races within 5 laps. The number of cars on the lead lap, average 31 cars. Easy to stay on the lead lap, hard to finish in the top 10.
Larry Mack with your expert's opinion. Every driver would love the chance to take home a trophy from this racetrack. It is so difficult to tame, so many different turns. Anything can happen. It often comes out at the expense of another driver. Let's go trackside for the remainder of the pre-race ceremonies before we go racing.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome our Grand Marshals, San Francisco 49er legend and 3-time Super Bowl champion Roger Craig, and Northern California Toyota Dealer Association Board President Henry Hansel.
I don't get any cheers. No cheers from me.
Ready? Gentlemen, start your engine!
11 tricky turns, 110 laps around Infineon Raceway. When we come back, we're going racing. Our guys in the booth will take it over. Stay with us on TNT.
Welcome to the Toyota Save Mart 350. I'm Ed Laukas from Toyota Motor Sales. Today we're proud to announce the extension of our Toyota Sponsorify Your Ride contest. So go to ToyotaRacing.com, design your car, and get a chance to win valuable prizes and maybe even see your car on the track someday.
Hi Ed, happy Father's Day.
Hey buddy, how you doing? What's with the pink suit?
Well, you know how much I enjoy the pink suit and how much I wanted to wear it, so we get that chance coming up at Richmond in the Nationwide Series race this fall.
I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of fun with that.
Oh yeah.
Enjoy a great day of racing here on TNT. And happy Father's Day.
Road racing has been a part of NASCAR since 1954. This afternoon, 45 miles north of San Francisco in the heart of wine. To have you with us, and certainly happy Father's Day. With Kyle Petty and Wally Dallenbach, I'm Adam Alexander. And if you've seen the practice here at Infineon this weekend, you know Marcus Ambrose has been dominant. Wally, here's a race car driver that's driven all over the world, but he said this is the toughest track he's ever been to. What makes this place so difficult?
Well, it's a very busy racetrack, and it's hard to explain. It's like waltzing with an elephant around this place because these cars are big and heavy. They don't do anything that you want to do. And what we'll see here today, you know, we've heard these guys talk about forward bite at places like Pocono and Michigan. I think that's going to be a big issue today. These guys are going to have a hard time getting a hold of the racetrack, as well as brakes. We've seen a lot of guys locking brakes up. So I think today it's just going to be a contact sport, but this is a very physical and it's a tough racetrack to get around.
And the other item you better have in your back pocket is a good strategy, because very obviously it comes down to the wire at this place, Kyle.
It can come down to strategy, and it comes down to patience from the driver. But you've got to race your race. I think that was one of the keys to Larry in the beginning, in our pre-race. Larry said one of the keys is race your race. And if you start with a strategy, you better stay with that strategy, because when you see guys start changing their strategy, they take themselves out of the race. So there's going to be some different stuff. The guys at the back, the guys at the front. Going to have to see how it sorts out in the end.
You ever danced with an elephant, Kyle?
At this place, it felt like I was dancing with about 3 elephants, and they were fat elephants, too. Let me say that.
All right. It's going to be some fun today. Qualifying here on Friday, the Coors Light, the official beer of NASCAR, is the proud sponsor of the Coors Light Pole Award, given to the fastest qualifier in each NASCAR Sprint Cup race. This week's Coors Light Pole Award winner, Kasey Kahne, the 17th of his career, and the second time he has won a pole here at Infineon Raceway. He's joined on the front row this afternoon by 4-time champion Jimmie Johnson. Driver 48 has never won on a road course. Row 2, Kurt Busch, always good at these types of venues. Kevin Harvick has a win under his belt at Watkins Glen. He enters the point leader. We talked about Marcus Ambrose. He's joined on row 3 by Jeff Gordon, who has 9 career wins on road courses. That's better than any other. The man who's been dominant lately when it comes to road course competition, Tony Stewart. He has won 4 of the last 10 races in NASCAR competition on road courses. He's got a good starting spot today, and he rides in a wave of momentum. Smoke enters today's race off of back-to-back top 5 finishes. Mark Martin, another driver who has experienced success on the road courses. And then there's Denny Hamlin. No wins for him at these types of facilities, but he has won the last 2 races in series competition. Montoya won here as a rookie in 2007, and Ryan Newman not bad in row 7 either. Robbie Gordon swept the road course events in 2003. A.J. Allmendinger, a top 10 here 1 year ago. We talked about the fact that Tony Stewart has a good starting spot up front and his momentum. Smoke comes in here after those 2 top 5s at Pocono and Michigan. The team is running better, and we shouldn't be surprised. This is the time of year when Tony Stewart really starts to put things together. It's been very impressive when you get to the summer portion of the season, as you see Kyle Busch deep in the field, Jeff Burton in row 15. Jan Magnussen, one of the 4 road course ringers in today's race. Matt Kenseth and David Rudiman, some ground to break up today. And there's Brad Keselowski, top 5 finish yesterday in nationwide competition. He's hoping for luck in his first start here at Infineon today. Dave Blaney, shotgun on the field, rose in the 43rd position. 2 races down in our TNT Summer Series, Pocono and Michigan. 4 still to come, starting today here at Sonoma. Each different when you look at its configuration. Loudon, the flat mile. Daytona, the big super speedway with high speeds and drafting. And then Chicagoland on July 10th, a night race on the 1.5 miles. All of these racetracks have been favorable for Tony Stewart, and we mentioned the momentum he brings in.
Now, if you look at a guy that's going to be versatile, Tony Stewart fits that. I mean, we're coming up on a stretch of racetracks that he's very good at. He's great this time of year. He's sitting out some good finishes and get himself solid in the top 12.
Yeah, the TNT races seem to fit Tony. When you look at them, there's, you start off with Pocono, which is a strange racetrack, and then you look at these other, and you end up in a road course, then a speedway, and then in Chicago, and the flat mile of New Hampshire. But the thing is, this is where Tony gets it done. This is where his workmanlike ethic and everything he does, it's just, this is the grind of the year. And Tony, when the grind comes, Tony rises to the top. And you start looking at these, Infineon 2, Loudon 2, Daytona 3, Chicago 2. That's the heart and soul of his years. And when you look at the championship, that's when he made the turn. That's when he won the championship. Last year, to stay in the chase and be contention, he made that turn right there. So this is his time of year. If he doesn't perform in this time of the year, then don't look for him towards the end of the year to pick up the pace.
9 victories over the course of the next 4 tracks for Tony Stewart, and as you saw, 33 times he has won in his career from June on. Very impressive when you look at his total of 37 career victories. Time now to take one last visit down the pit lane. We begin with Ralph Shaheen.
Adam, the first time Jimmie Johnson came to Infineon Raceway, he came at the age of 15 to go through a driving school. It was actually the first time he'd ever pushed the limits on asphalt. He's never won here, but he has led 30 laps. And Matt Yoakum, he's hoping to lead the one that pays the big money here today.
Ralph, our championship point leader, Kevin Harvick, he was the dominant road racer back in 2007, finishing 2nd here at Infineon, and then going on to win at Watkins Glen. Now, I talked to Gil Martin's crew chief. He said, you can throw out history. Today is going to be all about strategy, and we've documented all the different tactics you're going to see today, fuel mileage, tires, and especially track position. But he said, our biggest advantage, Kevin Harvick behind the wheel. So smooth at every single point of this racetrack. Keep an eye on the 29. Marty?
Well, Matt, no driver is hotter right now in the Sprint Cup Series than Denny Hamlin, coming off the back-to-back wins. And I talked to him about road course racing. You know, he's very underrated here at these road courses. In 8 starts on road courses, 6 top 10 finishes for Denny Hamlin. But he told me earlier this week they have purposefully de-emphasized the road course races this year because there's not a road course race in the chase, and they're focused on winning the championship. Most of these teams tested 2 or 3 times. These guys tested for 2 hours, one day at a road course. Mike Ford told me they don't really know what to expect today, but a top 10 for these guys would equal a win for the number 11 team. Let's go to Phil.
Marty, you know, I asked Carl Edwards today if he felt like he really missed something not being here yesterday for practice while he was off winning a nationwide race in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. He said, I think it may have been more of an advantage because I got 50 laps of practice in at Elkhart Lake. That's way more laps than I would have got yesterday. I think it may be an advantage for me later today. He will start from the 19th position, Larry.
Well, Phil, a lot's been said about gambling, a lot's been said about strategy, and if you're one of those teams that's fighting to get in this chase with 11 races to go, you got to be a little careful how much you have to gamble. So much effort has been put into this road course race. Now, there's one team here, they've been the fastest in every single practice. They don't have a lot to lose. They are basically 30th in the points, well outside the top 12. This may be their best chance to get a road course win, and I think Matt Yoakum is with that crew chief.
Larry back, it's Opportunity Sunday for the 47 team. Frankie Kerr, you're not going for the points, you're going for the win. How aggressive can you be here today in Sonoma?
Well, we can be as aggressive as we want. You know, we got to watch our fuel. The tires fall off so bad here, but we're going for a win at this point in our season. We're going for it.
All right, their best finish in Sprint Cup second. Remember, he won on a road course in the Nationwide Series. He's a stout road racer.
Matt, now we look at our Burger King race analysis for this afternoon's event here at Sonoma. 218.9 miles. It is a 350K. 110 laps makes up that distance. 11 turns on this road course. Pit road speed 35 miles per hour. And our pit window, circle that. 38 to 42 laps. We are set to go green on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon in wine country. The front row, Kasey Kahne and Jimmie Johnson. Kahne chooses the outside lane as we go green in the Toyota Save Mart 350. It's time to let them go.
That's about as clean as I've seen a turn one at Sonoma ever on the start of a race.
And I'm going to tell you, these guys are respecting each other right here. You see, I mean, most of the time you don't go through there too wide like they went through too wide, but the new tires and all this stuff.
Wow. This is turn 4, the first hard right-hander, Jimmie Johnson nosing out on the outside lane.
But this next right-hander is a tough one. You want to be on the inside. I don't think that's going to work.
How about that?
That's Kurt Busch on the outside of Kasey Kahne. And he's able to grab second.
And Kurt made a bold move there, but Kasey allowed that to happen by backing out on the inside car. If he had forced the issue on the 48 right there, we could have seen the 3 cars in that synchronized spin right there in that corner.
That was turn 7, and now these drivers make their way through the S's for the first time. Jimmie Johnson, Kurt Busch, Kasey Kahne, and Kevin Harvick, the top 4.
Yeah, we're going to see some guys fanning out here. This is a great opportunity. This is the best place on the racetrack to pass. Is under braking here. You see Montoya on the outside of Bobby Labonte, Truex on the inside, and everybody so far gets through clean.
That was the battle back around 12th and 13th.
But like you said, they're allowing that to happen. We're not going to see them they're not going to allow anybody to get away with that as the race unfolds.
Newman with a bump for Denny Hamlin as they head to 1.
And look how far he knocked Denny over. I mean, Denny's all the way out of shape right there. That's amazing. I think that's a funny place. That's a shift point right there. And it looked like Hamlin kind of rolled out of it before Newman anticipated that. I don't think Newman would have got into him that early.
Boris said you saw him in the 26 car, but out of shape. Contact with Paul Menard. He's a driver that you always watch when you come to a road course event. And here's Elliott Sadler trying to get underneath Paul Menard.
And like I said, you really want to be on the inside coming up to this next corner because there's not a whole lot of grip on the outside here. So if you can set yourself up coming out of that corner and dive underneath somebody and outbrake them without locking up the brakes, it's another great place to pass.
And that was a great example because you saw the 19 get under the 98 and the 33 was able to take advantage of those guys going through there, carried that momentum onto the inside.
See Elliott Sadler on track. More on driver 19 with Ralph.
Well, problems early for the 19, Adam. He's struggling with first and second gear. And Wally, as you know, you got to have a couple of those lower gears to get the good pull up off some of these slow turns like this one at 11.
Yeah, no question. You need them all, Ralph. You're right. If you're having gearbox problems now, I think that's going to be something that's going to develop into something worse because they normally don't get better.
Yeah. One thing about race cars, they don't fix themselves. You know what I mean? And once you have that, if you've got that stumble at the beginning for a carburetor or for a fuel issue, if you've got that where the clutch isn't working right and you're trying to shift, and one thing about these things with the transmission, when you do have some transmission problems, if these guys would start using the clutch sometimes, it'll cover that a little bit.
It's a great shot. Clint Boyer right here. He's taking his hand off the steering wheel yet to shift, so he's going to downshift here.
Wow. That thing almost looked like it chattered a little bit in there because you saw the shifter kind of vibrate a little bit.
Exactly what it did, Kyle. He got a little wheel hop, and you can see that when the shifter starts bouncing and really hard on a downshift, that's that wheel hop. And boy, the wheel hop is tough here. It can really get you in a lot of trouble. All that is normally it's too much rear brake.
Focus on the exit.
Boyer 22nd to 18th in the first 3 laps of this race, riding behind Mark Martin. Behind them, Elliott Sadler trying to get underneath his teammate Paul Menard.
Tell you
That's
what,
the battle for 19.
Yeah, for gearbox problems, he's at least moving forward.
Jimmie Johnson continues to lead. He qualified 2nd today, but got the inside lane at the start because pole sitter Kasey Kahne chose the outside.
And you look at a guy like that, and Paul Menard's got a lot of road course experience, and Elliott. All these guys come in here thinking they're not good road racers, but they're really, a lot of them have gone through the schools. A lot of them, a lot of these Cup drivers have gone through like a Bondurant school. I mean, which is it's a great place to teach you some of the things, little bit tricks that you need to know on a road course. Because a guy like Marcos Ambrose, he's going to come with all that experience.
Yeah.
But those schools really help these drivers. I mean, both my sons have been through that school. It's the little things you can pick up, trail braking and things like that you don't know about, because you only come here on a road course twice a year.
Yeah, and the other thing that makes you better is racing against Boris Said, is racing against Marcos Ambrose, is racing. When you start racing against guys that are a lot better than you, then you're like, well, by God, if they can do it, I can do it.
But how are they doing it? And that's the thing. And when they go to these schools, they pick up, they go, oh,
Good
that's
point.
what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it really accelerates them. And there's a shot.
Yeah, but that's a little shot from down under right there into the back bumper. So that was nice.
And in many ways, these drivers who call themselves road course experts have been their own worst enemy. We heard here over the weekend Marcos Ambrose talking about maybe sharing too much information, and he did it in a joking way, but those guys have been helpful to the NASCAR regulars.
The biggest thing with a guy like Marcos, when you come on a road course, you have to attack a road course every single lap.
Yes.
You can't ever get into a situation where you're just running a race pace. You have got to drive this racetrack like you hate it every single lap. And that's the little bit of a difference between these guys and some of the guys that aren't used to running every week.
Kevin Harvick able to jump around Kasey Kahne, the point leader, up to 3rd, couple of spots behind him. Jeff Gordon, Marty.
And some good progress, Adam, up from 12th right there. Gordon's made some early progress in the race. And this is the part, actually, of the race he told me he was worried about. He said, in practice yesterday, we weren't very good on new tires. So that's what I'm worried about. He said the long run, that's where I think we'll be good. And Kyle Wally, it's going to come down to a long run, because the theory is you pit as quickly as you can for the final time, and you've got old tires at the end of the race. There's Ambrose mixing it up, fellas.
That's an aggressive move right there. Because I think we've been watching the 24 kind of protect that inside, but Marcos was not going to have any of that just then. He wanted that position. He wanted it bad. Matt?
And KP, like so many other people, everyone chasing that forward bite issue through the practice session, but Ambrose, he by far had the best car first in every session except for qualifying. Smokes that left front trying to overtake the 9 of Kahne. But when you look at this race in Watkins Glen, and Wally, you came from a road racing background when you came to stock cars. Do you put too much pressure on yourself sometimes, knowing that this is one of those money races for you, or it should be?
Matt, I don't think you put any more pressure on a certain racetrack than you do any racetrack that you go to. But you're right. In Marcos' situation, all his sponsors are here this weekend. This is the best opportunity to win a race. So, there is a little bit of added pressure, but a driver puts so much pressure on himself anyway that, I don't think he feels it any way or another. But Marcos is
you could see how aggressive he is right there. The thing he's got to be careful on moves like that is not locking those tires up too often, because if you keep dragging your front tire under braking, you're going to flat spot those tires. And if you flat spot those tires, it's going to hurt the forward bite and the side bite and everything on that race car. So you got to be really careful.
6 laps complete at Sonoma. Kasey Kahne on the pole, saying hello to his father on Father's Day. He currently rides in the 7th position.
The Toyota Save Mart 350 on TNT is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. By the all-new 2011 Super Duty, built for tough. By new Gillette Fusion Pro Glide, turn shaving into gliding and skeptics into believers. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by AT&T, rethink possible.
One of the great venues in all of NASCAR, Infineon Raceway in Sonoma, California. We're 45 miles north of San Francisco and underway today in the Toyota Save Mart 350. And you have less than 20 laps to go to NASCAR.com/TNT Million and sign up for the $1 Million Fan Challenge. Last week at Michigan, we had a lot of contestants. We had someone pick all 10 drivers correctly, just not in the correct order. This can be done. Someone will enhance their portfolio before this summer 6-pack is over.
If somebody does it here, they earn that $1 million.
What do you mean here?
Here.
If they do it anywhere.
No, but I mean
impressive.
here is
you're
especially
right.
hard.
You're right. To play the game, visit NASCAR.com/TNT Million, and you too could win up to $1 million.
If you can pick 10, you should at least get a T-shirt and a hat.
Yeah.
I don't care, man.
A race buddy shirt.
Think about it, a race buddy shirt.
At least a T-shirt.
Think about that. I mean, that is truly amazing. And you know, this is one of those places that's a wild card, kind of like Daytona and Talladega. You never know what's going to happen on that last lap.
Jimmie Johnson, the race leader, he started second today. Got around pole sitter Kasey Kahne on the opening lap, and he is now pulled away from second place Kurt Busch. 4.2 seconds his advantage there. And you see Greg Biffle on track. Driver 16 started 9th, and Phil, he's up to 7th in the running order.
Yeah, Adam, while we were away at commercial break, he was able to get by our pole sitter, Kasey Kahne. Greg Biffle has a couple wins in the Truck Series on road courses. 4th, his best finish here. Has not said one word on the radio. The guys keep telling him your lap times are really good. You look to be a little bit quicker than Tony. Keep it up. Save our stuff.
A 4th place finish here a year ago, and now we have problems. Point leader Kevin Harvick and Jamie McMurray together. No caution yet.
Wow. And
Harvick was running in the top 5.
No, that's
Boyer.
Boyer.
That's Boyer.
That's a strange place right there, too.
From the rear, the car looked exactly like the 29 of Harvick.
Yeah.
Both drivers pull away, and now we get our first caution of the day at lap 10.
That's not a place you usually see unless somebody's forcing an issue.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And it happened to be the 43 maybe forced the issue.
Oh, and gets the 43 gets up on the curb.
See the tire marks on the door there.
And then the one gets hammered by the 18.
18 and turn. Oh, look at the 19 in those guys.
So the 2 innocent cars in that whole deal are pointing in the wrong direction.
The wrong direction.
Now you ride with Clint Boyer.
And watch, it's hard to see here, but right here, the 43's up on the curb. And then you see him turn him sideways.
That was kind of past the curve there.
Yeah, look at Busch. Oh. Kyle, heavy damage.
Wow.
Now we ride with McMurray. Coming off of turn 7 down to the S's.
Right in front of you.
Oh, he's got some damage there, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's big damage.
Heard the spotter say right in front of you. By the time he got that message, the damage had been done.
The spotters here, this is a tough deal for a spotter to really help you in a situation like that.
Oh, look at the grill on that.
You know, Kyle Busch has had a tough weekend. He started 27th.
Yeah,
not a good qualifying day, and he was off track twice yesterday in a happy hour.
And that's why that is why qualifying is so important on a road course, because you get back there with guys you're not used to racing with, and things happen.
It did look like Kevin Harvick from the back. For all you Harvick fans, breathe easy. The point leader riding 3rd. Jimmie Johnson leads under caution at Infineon. Under caution, 11 laps into the Toyota Save Mart 350 from Infineon Raceway. 4 cars involved: Jamie McMurray, Clint Boyer, A.J. Allmendinger, and Kyle Busch. An early caution means some drivers coming to pit road. The first of those will be Juan Pablo Montoya. Phil?
Juan Pablo Montoya said he needs a little bit more grip. Said the car is real tight over in turn number 4. Brian Patty's going to put 4 tires on this target car.
Todd Berrier and Jeff Burton, big debate about whether or not they should come fill the car. Way too loose for Burton. They're going to go down 1.5 rounds on the track bar. Todd Berrier's decision is because of tires. They think that'll play a factor, Matt.
Our pole winner, Kasey Kahne, already going to work on the left side. His car absolutely plowing. He said his biggest issue is more on the left-handers, air pressure change, also wedge change, and they were also talking about pulling a spring rubber as well to try to help that race car early on.
You see that? I wonder if Kasey's got a problem there with, I don't know, maybe he just couldn't get it in gear, but it looked like he was having a hard time getting it to go in first gear.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys have changed that first gear where they use it on a racetrack.
Yeah, so it's long.
It's such a long gear that it is hard, man. It's hard to get out of the pits, and you're just on that clutch, just grinding it.
Montoya, the first off of pit road, as you saw. Wally, Kyle, you mentioned Kasey Kahne on the pole, falling to 7th. He pitted as well. He was the second to leave the pit lane. We'll reset the running order in a minute as they continue to work on Clint Boyer's car. It's time now for our Aflac Trivia Quiz. Aflac can help you be covered for the unexpected twists and turns of life. Aflac! Including accidents or illnesses. For the NASCAR road course at Infineon Raceway, how many turns on this racetrack? That's today's Aflac Trivia Quiz. How many turns here at Sonoma? Now, I got to warn you guys.
I know.
We're going to give the answer later, so just calm down.
I know it.
Be patient, and we'll tell everyone a little later. And if you want to venture a guess at home, begin counting, because
count 'em
here
right now.
you go.
A lot.
And looking at that, I say 26, but some of that's out in the parking lot. You don't like that answer?
I like that answer.
I like that answer.
A few penalties handed out here under caution. Joe Nemechek penalized by NASCAR, and also Jamie McMurray and Clint Boyer. Both those drivers, of course, involved in the accident that brought out the caution. Each were penalized for coming to pit road too soon, and one of those drivers penalized also for getting off the pit lane too quickly. Elliott Sadler, another driver that got a piece of the action a moment ago. And Kyle Busch, who came to pit road, has since taken his Toyota behind the wall. It's been a rough weekend from start to finish for Kyle.
That splitter, the way it was pointed, which was up, is not good. They really got to do a lot of work on that nose and get that splitter down, because it's real important here.
The restart will come at lap 13. The race leader, Jimmie Johnson, elects the outside lane. Kurt Busch on the inside, back green here in Sonoma.
Wow, great start for the 48. That's the way you want to restart. Get out in front and have that the whole turn one to yourself.
Marcus Ambrose able to jump by Kurt Busch for second as they make their way through turn 2.
You got to give a heads up.
Oh, some more contact there. More contact. These guys are just clobbering each other.
That
Looked like it was Bobby Labonte was in there. I'm not sure who else it was, but
Denny Hamlin between Robbie Gordon and Juan Pablo Montoya into turn 4.
it's a free-for-all here on these restarts.
Whoa! Jimmie Johnson with a race lead. Marcus Ambrose sticking his nose in the middle of the pile.
Yeah, Kyle and I were talking. Kyle, you mentioned it. He may not have any. 47 may not have any fenders by the time he gets to the lead. He is really, really aggressive right now.
You talk about how much you want to protect these fenders, and we've already seen that one of Marcus's, the right front or the left front, when we saw it on an earlier shot, is already caved in a little bit. He's being incredibly aggressive, but on new tires, which these guys are not, you know what I mean? But he's picked up a couple of positions on cold tires, and I guess he feels that's what he's got to do right now.
This will complete lap 15 of the 110 that make up today's race. And we talk about the last 15 and how aggressive drivers get. The first 15 today have been no Sunday afternoon drive.
But like I said, you have to run this racetrack every single lap that way. The guys that run good on these road courses are just, they're attacking the track every single lap. That's how you have to do it on a road course.
How impressive was Jimmie through that final corner? I'm not going to name it because that's the Aflac thing.
Yeah, that's a question.
So
that's an answer. Yeah,
that's an answer to a question. So I'm not going to name it. But I mean, he pulled away from Marcos coming off that. That's forward grip right there. You saw Jimmie just scoot away from Marcos right there. You hear Marcos downshift right there.
And that's going to be the key, I really feel, Kyle, today, especially when these guys get on these long runs. That forward bite is going to be so important. And right now, these two guys look like they have it.
Yeah, Jimmy's definitely got it right now. You can see, I'm going to tell you, when he gets that thing pointed in the right direction, it's moving forward. And that's so important. You just sit there spinning the tires. I don't care if you got 1,200 horsepower, whatever it is. You're not going anywhere.
Had a report Jamie McMurray, who was involved in the first caution, had gone around on the track again. Tough break for him, who still had his eye on making the chase. Here you see what happened to Jamie. This just after the restart, top of the hill.
Yeah, and that's...
It didn't look like he had anybody behind him, but...
It's hard to say. They scattered so much, you know, whether he got tapped or whether he got up on that inside curve and it just got away from him.
Kyle Busch.
He got hit.
Yeah, he
definitely got. When you hear the R's go up like that, that means somebody's jacking you up off the racetrack.
Johnson's lead, 1.10 seconds over second place Marcos Ambrose. And here you see Juan Pablo Montoya. He pitted at lap 12 and already on quite a rally since we got the green flag, Larry.
Well, I think this has been the story all weekend, and I also believe this may be what changes the way these guys run this race right here. We saw Tire give up in practice yesterday at about 2.5 to 3 seconds from lap 1 to about lap 15. I honestly believe 4 fresh tires may outweigh a full tank of fuel in doing this on 2 stops.
Yeah, you know what, Larry, I agree with you on that. In fact, I'm surprised that more of the leaders didn't come in to come and get down to get those fresh tires, because they are so important here this weekend. And that's right there. That's the difference between grip and no grip.
Yeah, he's coming up through there because he knew when he got down in the corner, you can go, you know, and grip works both places. Grip works coming up out of the corner, and it works going into the corner. When you know you can lean on those tires on the brakes, and they've got some grip in them, you go a little bit deeper. And Juan just was able to outbrake the 39 car of Ryan right there.
So Montoya around Newman puts him up to the 9th position. You saw the graphic. He restarted 14th after the pit stop. He's got to feel good about where he is, Phil.
He sure does. I talked to Brian Petty this morning, Adam, and he said that, you know, traditionally we talk about pitting twice here. He said, I think the tires are going to matter more. I think this is going to be a 3-stop race for us. We're not out of this chase thing. We can't take a chance on running out of fuel on multiple green-white checkers, so we may do a little bit different pit strategy, at least pit 3 times there to make sure we have enough fuel in case it goes overtime.
And Phil, the benefit for Montoya, not only does he feel like this is a place where he can take advantage and gain some points because he has won here in the past, but we've already seen Boyer and McMurray, 2 drivers in a similar point situation trying to get into the chase, have problems today. It's Greg Biffle just in front of Montoya. And here comes Denny Hamlin into turn 11, the driver that has won the last 2 weeks. Scott Speed Kenseth in front of him. Wow.
A lot of actually, you know what? And that may have been when I was said earlier when the 71 was bouncing off of somebody. It may have been the 11 in there.
Could be. Look how high that valence is on the left front.
Yeah, that's going to make the car push. It's not going to. It's going to stop the car from turning. So he's gonna have a lot of problems here, especially as the tires go off. It's just going to get worse and worse.
Denny Hamlin right now 19th in the running order. It's Jimmie Johnson who continues to lead here at Sonoma. Jimmie Johnson took the lead at lap 1. He has been the dominant car ever since we put the green flag in the air. He's led every lap. His advantage right now, 2.8 seconds over second place Marcos Ambrose. Now time to answer our Aflac trivia quiz. For NASCAR's road race today here at Infineon Raceway, how many turns are there?
11.
You say that with no hesitation.
Unless you... 11. Is that the answer? What's the answer?
It is 11.
11.
It's official
11. Oh,
now.
there it is. There it is. 12 if you win, because you get to turn one more time into victory lane.
Oh, boy. Will you slap him?
Give me, put the asterisk.
Good. It doesn't help. Trust me.
Some would say 12. Some would say 10.
I rode around this track yesterday with Wally.
How many?
Counting the turns was the least of my concern, let me tell you.
And I hate we didn't have that footage because we had it from outside the car and it looked exciting.
There's Jeff Gordon. He went around Kevin Harvick while we were away, so driver 24 is up to 5th in the running order, but it's his teammate who continues to lead, Ralph.
Yeah, you know, Jimmie Johnson hasn't pitted yet. He said he wanted to stay out because he was feeling like the car was starting to slowly come into him where he liked it. Sure looks like it's running pretty good early on in this race. The one thing he did say was he was starting to feel like maybe he was losing a little bit of forward bite. But I'll tell you what, before they gave the command to start engines, every driver in the field would have told you he was already losing forward bite today.
That's exactly right.
This is a track that Jimmie Johnson has had success at, although he has not won on a road course. He's led 4 of the last 5 races here. Best finish for him, 4th 1 season ago.
He is just, I've just been watching him this last lap. When he gets pointed straight, he is not getting that car sideways at all. He's almost waiting till the car gets straight before he gets on the throttle.
Yeah, and that does 2 things. Obviously, it protects the tires because he's not buzzing the tires off of them. And you see these guys just drive a little all over everywhere, but he does, and it's like he's rolling through the center. We talk about rolling through the center on ovals, but he's rolling the car through the S's, rolling the car through the middle of turn 11 down here, and it looks great.
Ambrose has been aggressive in the early going. Started 6th up to 2nd, Matt Yoakum.
And if you don't have Marcos Ambrose as one of your TNT $1 Million Fan Challenge picks, you've got less than 6 laps to put him down. He currently runs in the 2nd position, about 3 seconds back of leader Jimmie Johnson. He says that the car needs more side bite and a little more forward drive off. The car is loose in the S's and tight in the slow stuff. And his spotter says you're giving up way too much from the center of 2 down through turns 3A. So they're already working on air pressure, maybe one other adjustment when they make their first stop. But so far, so good for the Australian.
You know, and that's good stuff from Matt, because here's the deal. We used to come here many years ago, and there was almost, you looked at 2 types of the racetrack. There was the top of the hill, where the really slow corners, and then there's the S's, which are the really fast corners leading back down to the stadium area or to turn 11. And it was like you could get guys that were really fast at the top of the hill through the slow corners, but they struggled through the S's. And then you'd get up on somebody who would just kill you through the S's, but you'd run all over them through the top of the racetrack. So it's one of those racetracks that's a little bit of compromise. Here's the 11 just getting beat all to pieces, man. Again, the 09 runs into him as they come around the corner.
That's Jan Magnussen in the 09. Puts Hamlin back in the 29th position, and here's the reason why he's struggling. The damage picked up in this exchange.
And there you see the 71. They all turn in. This is not a 3-wide racetrack anywhere, is it, Wally?
No, it's not. And he got in the back of Boris there pretty hard. That's where the damage came from. And he is, you can tell he's struggling because he's going backwards in a hurry right now.
So Hamlin, who's really had some nice things going, had never won on a road course, but his career numbers here impressive. Today falling through the field as Brad Keselowski drives around him. Jimmie Johnson trying to make up some ground on the leader. He has the advantage. 22 laps complete. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series rolling through wine country. Jimmie Johnson, the California kid, the only leader in today's race. And it is time to log on to NASCAR.com/TNT Million. Just a couple of laps left to go in and make or change your picks, and you could win up to $1 million. We told you earlier at Michigan 1 week ago, we had a contestant who picked all 10 of the top drivers right, just not in the correct order. You could win up to $1 million yourself. Head to NASCAR.com/TNT Million and play the game.
Hey, 24 is on the move.
Yeah,
just moved into 3rd spot.
And you saw him when he came off of turn 11 back to the start-finish line. The 2 car just working up off the corner, and the 24 was just straight.
Yeah, these guys, the Hendrick cars look so far to have the best forward bite of the field, and it really shows.
Saw Montoya right behind him. And then here's Jeff Burton. He didn't qualify well here on Friday. Was the first car to go out in qualifying, in fact, but he's up to 11th, and he's one of those drivers that pitted at lap 12 and got tires, Kyle.
And he's one of the guys in practice that was one of the fastest guys, the top 3 or 4 guys in practice almost every practice. Marty?
Yeah, KP, they have been fast all weekend long, and I talked to Jeff this morning. They really felt like that draw did not help them in qualifying, and Jeff also said I didn't lay down the best lap either. But they've been fast. They're one of that group. They pitted with Juan Pablo Montoya and others at lap 12, and Jeff said they actually have made the chassis a little bit worse, but they're still going up through the field. That's what tires are going to mean today. Todd Berry already knows that. They will plan to pit with everybody else. Marcus Ambrose has hit pit road, guys.
This would be a scheduled green flag stop strategy that they have put together. Matt, tell us what's happening.
And as he pulls to a stop, the 47 crew goes work. Now Frankie Kerr is going to try to fix this race car. We documented the different issues at the different parts of the racetrack he's fighting, both the S's and the tight corners. How it's both a little bit tight, but he's got forward bite issues. Air pressure change as well. They were calling for a wedge adjustment. 15.9 on the first stop for Ambrose.
The pit window here somewhere around 40 laps or just north of there on fuel. You pit at lap 26, a 110 lap race. That would tell you that Ambrose has to come 2 more times. Is that their thought process here, Larry?
Yeah, I think we know Frankie Kerr's strategy right now with that 47 car, because the window just opened. If you want to break it down and do it in thirds, you needed to come about lap 26 or 27. Now, if we see teams go to about lap 30 to 32, we know that those teams are looking at trying to do this race on 2 pit stops.
And guess who's back? TNT Race Buddy. Log on to NASCAR.com now and watch up to 4 live camera angles at once with a TNT Race Buddy Mosaic View. TNT Race Buddy on NASCAR.com.
Robbie Gordon's starting to show a little bit of muscle too, but keeping my eye on him, and he's been picking his way up slowly but surely, but he's moving in the right direction.
Haven't talked a lot today about Kurt Busch. Had a good starting position and has stayed right there in the top 5. And another driver that has looked solid in recent weeks at the track. Let's hear what he had to say a moment ago on the radio.
I've got nowhere near the braking or turning ability. 24 down there in turn 11. That's ridiculous.
So he's obviously, it's just a grip issue. I mean, and that's like I said at the top show, these guys are going to be fighting this a lot today.
In this time.
Is, you know, and like Larry said, I think you're going to see guys coming in earlier just because of the tires more than anything else.
Now watch the 2. This is interesting on this pit road. This is not pit road speed limit right here. So you dive off into pit road. Here's where the speed limit picks up. So you can dive off into turn 11 there just like you're racing. You just move over on the pit road. It's hard when you get around there because it's a dirty part of it. Pit road is dirty down there, but you can't make time there.
Send it down to Marty Snyder.
And obviously that radio transmission just after the 24 went past him. The car very loose for Kurt. That is the problem. Off left and right-handers, they make the wedge adjustment, trying to tighten this thing up just a little bit, and 4 fresh tires. Ralph?
The 26 of Boris said making a pit stop. This would be around lap number 30. He told me earlier today, I just want to stay close to this thing, be in position, keep the car clean. He's taking 4 tires and fuel, trying to keep that car as clean as he can to stay in the hunt later on today to see if maybe he can't pick up a win here at Infineon, Adam.
More than half of Boris Said starts in his Sprint Cup Series career have been on road courses, so this has been the predominant way he has gained experience, although he did drive this race car 4 races early in the season. David Stremme took over, but an opportunity for them to gain some ground in the points at a road course means Boris Said is back behind the wheel.
You know, Wally and I talked about the 48 coming up off turn 11. Obviously, we're sitting in the booth and you can see how smooth the 48 is through 11 and how he accelerates. Obviously, the 24's got some of the same magic because you heard Kurt Busch complain about it. Right. We're nowhere near rolling through the center braking or accelerating up off the corner. And the accelerating up off the corner is where these guys have it right now.
Lap 28 for Kurt Busch and Boris Said. You saw their pit stops a moment ago. Martin Truex Jr. has spent a good portion of this day inside the top 10. He will come to pit road at lap 29. Matt?
Always good at Watkins Glen, but he just seems to have struggled in the past here at Infineon, but having a strong weekend overall and a good run today. The biggest issue for Martin, absolutely no forward drive off. Pat Trice is going to try to fix that, dropping the air pressure in both rear tires on this 56, topping him off, and he is away. Great stop by the 56 guys.
Paul Menard also on that same cycle. He came to pit road at lap 29. So we're starting to get a little bit of an idea of what people are thinking in regard to strategy. And here's my question to the driver. How much did you want to know what the plan was? Or did you just want to go out and drive the race car?
Yeah, I think as a driver, you just want to drive the race car. I mean, we're not really good at strategies. That's one thing. We just wait for the crew chief to tell us when to come in. I mean, and obviously they're basing a lot of that decision on how the car is driving and what we need for the race car. But you don't ever go in. A driver never goes into a race thinking strategy.
Yeah, and this is tough when you're doing this, because I'm looking at over here. Ambrose pitted. Ambrose is running almost 2.5 seconds faster than the 48 car is running right now. So while the 48 stays out to stay on his strategy, which is one of Larry's keys to the race, is pick your strategy and stick with it. So when they cycle through, don't be surprised if the 47 is in front of the 48. You know what I mean? Because right now he's picking up almost 2 seconds a lap.
And you saw the Gillette Young Gun driver standings. Kasey Kahne, the best of those right now, started on the pole, currently 6th. He has already made one stop today under caution at lap 12. Here you see him on track going around Kevin Harvick. Fans, be sure to try out the new Gillette Fusion Pro Glide Razor in stores now. Mark Martin is in. Matt?
So dominant back at Watkins Glen when he used to drive for Jack Roush. His stop already completed, though, in the 5 car. His complaint, loose air pressure change. Alan Gustafson trying to fix this 5 machine here today. Just lacked overall grip.
Pit road speed here, 35 miles per hour. You saw Greg Biffle coming in for a stop a moment ago under green. Too fast, the word from NASCAR. Greg Biffle penalized. He will lose a great deal of track position. He spent most of the day inside the top 10. More with Phil.
Adam, Greg Biffle was complaining about a lack of overall grip. They were going to take air pressure out of each tire. At the last second, Greg called it off. Unfortunately, Marty, he's given up all the track position with that penalty.
Phil, Jeff Burton did not like the last adjustment they made on this car, so they're undoing the track bar adjustment. They're going to try and fix this loose condition that they've had all day long with an air pressure adjustment and 4 fresh tires. Again, the second stop for Burton already today, guys.
Marty referring to the second stop. He was in at lap 12 under caution. Here's Joey Logano. Ralph?
You know what they did with this number 20 car, I spoke to Greg Zipadelli this morning. He said, you know, we had to make a decision that we were going to go with a race car that maybe wasn't as comfortable as Joey would have liked it, but it might be faster. So they're actually running a setup that's similar to what they did about 4 years ago, Matt, as Joey is away after a 4-tire fuel stop.
And the 39 of Ryan Newman also away, finished second at the Glen, trying for his first road course win. They dropped the rear air pressure and made a track bar change. He was running 13th when we started seeing different cars peel off to make this round of stops.
And another driver has been penalized for speeding on pit road, too fast exiting for the 71 of former series champion Bobby Labonte. A number of drivers have made their pit stops here under green. A few came under caution earlier at lap 12. Jimmie Johnson has not been to the pit lane. Neither has his teammate Jeff Gordon, who rides second right now. Juan Pablo Montoya did come down pit road at lap 12 under caution. He currently rides third. Here's Kasey Kahne, Matt.
And Kahne and the 19 making their second stop on pit road, still battling just the tight condition, making another air pressure change as well on the 9. Meanwhile, our championship point leader, Kevin Harvick, he is in. He just needs a little bit of help on exit route. Gil Martin went down on the air pressure on both rear tires.
Now here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. He pulls into his pit box, which was pretty slippery from some fuel and oil left on the ground. He's looking for forward bite. Car's a little bit loose. 4 tires of fuel. The call from crew chief Lance McGrew for the 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I tell you, Wally, here's another driver that has got the door opened up a little bit in regard to points. We talked about Bowyer having his issues earlier. if Earnhardt Jr. can just have a nice day, he doesn't have to go out and try to win the race, he can really make a move in the standings again. Dale Earnhardt Jr. exiting at lap 33. Here comes Montoya for his second stop, Phil.
Yeah, lap 33, Adam. No changes on this target car. Brian Patty said your laps are as good as anybody out there, Marty.
Jeff Gordon tied off the right-handers loose off the fast corners. They're going to do a wedge adjustment to tighten them on the right-handers, and they're going to do an air pressure adjustment to fix the loose exit off the other corners. 4 tires and fuel for Gordon, who ran in the top 5 that entire run, Adam.
He was second when he elected to come down pit road, riding behind his teammate Jimmie Johnson. Has led every lap here today.
Wow, look at this. Now, there's a big difference in pit road speeds right there. Somebody's...
Yes, there is.
That's going to be interesting to see if both those guys...
Wow.
Because actually Montoya passed him on pit lane.
Road. Yeah, and you know Jeff's screaming on the radio.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, do we have a wrong reading? Do we have a wrong reading? You know, that'll be interesting to see if anything comes out. Because if Montoya does not get a penalty, then Jeff knows his number's off.
Yeah, and you set those on the pace lap. You know, behind the pace car, you set the pit road speed there. And there's our leader hitting pit road. I don't think I would touch anything on that car. 4 tires and fuel.
First stop of the day at lap 34, Ralph.
That was about the most uneventful first 34 laps I've ever seen a leader have. So calm, cool, collected on the radio, but all the way around the team, no changes as you would expect. 4 tires and fuel, no worries with this crew. Away he goes.
And that was just solid right there. We've seen them have some glitches and some hiccups a little bit. That was a solid stop by that team.
Tony Stewart, the new race leader. And Smoke has not yet made a pit stop. Now, there are some drivers behind him who have not made a pit stop here under green, but those are the drivers that came in under that only caution at lap 12. And here's Denny Hamlin, Marty.
Finally here, and Mike Ford and Denny Hamlin had a very long conversation about how they could fix the left front of this race car, Adam. Mike told Denny the only way we can do it correctly is under caution. So on this stop, they won't be able to do much with it. They're going to try and bang it down with their hands as best they can. It is still secure. You see the NASCAR official with a thumbs up saying everything's okay. The hood pins are still in, but clearly that hurting Denny Hamlin's speed a bunch.
It does, and I think a great call by Mike Ford and those guys to say we can't fix it under green. We got to do it under caution. What this stop did, though, it allowed them to look at it, to get the stuff together so they know how to fix it now. They know where it's bent. They know what they've got to hammer down. You saw them beat on it. You saw them shake it. They know what's loose. They know what's solid. So they've got a lot more information for fixing it after that pit stop.
And these laps are so long under caution that you can do a lot of work on a car under yellow and not lose a lap.
Tony Stewart has scored more points in road course races over the last 5 years than any other driver. 10 races in that span. He's won 4 of them. More top 5s, more top 10s. He's led more laps. He's been the guy to beat at these kinds of tracks in recent years. And he's been very good lately. Back-to-back top 5 finishes have him inside the chase for the first time in a while.
You know, Kyle, you hit the nail on the head there, because once this thing cycles out, Ambrose is going to be in front of the 48, and it all had to do with the tires.
With the tires. It has to do with tires, and it has to do with pitting early or pitting late. Sometimes we see guys get past, and you say, what happened? Bad pit stop? It's not a bad pit stop. These guys are just faster, and tires are a huge issue here today. I don't think, you know, we've heard it during the week, and these guys have talked about drop-off. But, I mean, as fast as these things are when they're new, you can't afford to let a guy run too many laps, because you can have 4 seconds on him, and it's evaporated in 2 laps around here.
If you're 2 seconds a lap faster in 4 or 5 laps, that's a ton. I mean, you know, it's 10 seconds you're going to gain on somebody.
And we laugh about it all the time as we see the 14 come down pit road. The best place for a driver to pass is on pit road. Yeah, let your crew help you, man. Let those guys make a strategy and let them help you make it easier for you.
Tony Stewart going to come down the pit lane for the first time this afternoon. Under green at lap 35. Let's follow the stop. Marty Snyder.
Yeah, last of the leaders, Adam, and Darian Grubb and I talked this morning. This means they may pit last on that second stop as well, meaning a little bit fresher tires. 4 tires for Stewart, who wanted no chassis changes. Phil?
Marty Carl Edwards came in on lap number 12 for his first stop. This stop, a little bit of an air pressure adjustment. 4 tires for the Aflac Ford.
Edwards a winner yesterday in Wisconsin at Road America, NASCAR Nationwide Series competition. It was his second consecutive road course win in that series. And now our leader, Matthias Ekstrom. First Sprint Cup Series start here today. He pitted at lap 12. When things cycle through, it should be Marcus Ambrose back out front. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. You're watching live coverage of the Toyota Save Mart 350 from Infineon Raceway in Sonoma, California. NASCAR fans, your vote helped determine last week's rank from Michigan. Jeff Gordon is currently in the lead with Dale Jr. and Jimmie Johnson right behind. Be sure to cast your vote for the AT&T Fastest Pit Crew. You can do so from your AT&T phone. Text the car number to 2258. For the crew you think is the fastest and most valuable. TNT will reveal the standings each week, so make sure to vote. The AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award brought to you by AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. You saw Jeff Gordon on our AT&T watch there. Here he is leaving pit road moments ago. Wally, you and Kyle talked about it. Montoya passing him on the pit lane. So what did Gordon say?
Did that 42 just pass my on pit road?
Yeah, you know, these guys set it. They can figure out how to set what RPMs you are and what gear for pit road speed. And that's probably a more accurate way to do it for the team to do that. Because, as you know, Kyle, sometimes when you're trying to do it behind a pace car, it stacks up and you never get a really good reading.
Yeah, we always used to do it behind the pace car. Now these teams, they take the gear ratio, they take the transmission ratio, whether you're in first gear or second gear, and they give the driver an RPM band. Jeff said, they reported earlier that Jeff had said, man, when I was out there behind the pace car, the red light was on, which meant he was over that band, whatever he thought. So Jeff backed it down. It was not that the 42 was speeding. It's Jeff's RPM band is wrong. Don't look for that to happen again, because he's going to pick that RPM band up because he thinks it's 3,900, 4,000, 4,100, whatever that number may be. That's just a miscalculation. Jeff didn't want to get caught early and take himself out of the race. So he did the right thing. They'll refigure it. They'll give him another number, and he'll go from there.
Matthias Ekstrom continues to lead this race, but the battle for second heating up. We told you Marcus Ambrose pitted earlier than Jimmie Johnson. They run second and third. Ambrose actually got around Johnson in that cycle of green flag pit stops.
I'll tell you what, that 48 has got some forward grip.
Yeah.
It's got some forward bite, and that's where he's killing the 47 right now, is when he puts his foot down on the gas, which is just a little bit earlier than the 47, he's got the grip. And I mean, you know, he just made it look easy, and Marcos is not an easy guy to pass on a road course.
No, and we've seen Marcos be incredibly. Jimmie just run up behind him, went left, went right, and then just drove right by it.
Right there, you see that right there's the shot right there. When you, as soon as you accelerate, that 48 car yanks the 47 car, you know, a car or two car lengths, and that is where they are so good.
Marcus Ambrose made his green flag pit stop at lap 26. Johnson came in at lap 34, so his tires are a bit fresher. Matthias Ekstrom continues to lead the field in Northern California.
The Toyota Save Mart 350 on TNT is brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. By Progressive. Why would you ever pay more? By Coca-Cola. Open a Coke and enjoy the race. Open happiness. And by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series.
We have a good news, bad news situation in Sonoma, California. The good news for Jimmie Johnson, who leads. The bad news for Denny Hamlin.
That's some driving right there.
They'll clear by 10.
He's got to be driving out the driving window.
Yeah, okay. Here's what happens here, and we'll look. Obviously, when he came down pit road, he's doing. I can't believe he's keeping this thing on the racetrack right now. Maybe his spotter's talking him around, but he's doing a great job, and he's still carrying some speed, man. But let's go back to the pit stop here. If you see the pit stop, he comes down pit road, and when the NASCAR official reaches up under that, I want you to see the NASCAR official when he walks over to the grill, or to the hood. He'll walk over and he'll flop it. Watch how much it moves up and down when he walks over and he grabs the hood. They go to the other side. The NASCAR official's right here. He'll walk in. You see him push it down. Watch him lift it up. Look how much that moved up and down. It got so much air up under it that it sheared those hood pins. There's nothing he could do about it. The official checked it. It was right. But you carry so much speed around this place that this is what happens because you couldn't fix it under green. Now they've got to come back in under green. Hood's wiped out. They can't get the hinges down. Look at them shearing them. They've got bolt cutters cutting the hood hinges right here just to get it to drop back down.
And once you lose one pin,
once you lose one, you lose them all. They're going to shear eventually. Yeah. It's just the force of that much air at 120, at 140, just getting up under there. It just balloons it up like a tarp.
Hamlin started 11th today, and there was optimism in that camp. Didn't work out for him. He's outside the top 30, and the problems continue. The new race leader, as we told you when we returned from break, Jimmie Johnson got around Matthias Ekstrom, as did Marcus Ambrose. They run 1-2.
Now, look at this is an interesting shot. If you look at the seat here, these guys really do a good job on their seats to try to keep them in the cars. And that's Kasey. And then you look at Robbie's seat. Robbie's got his seat cut out way more over here where his elbows can swing a lot more. And I looked at a lot of seats this morning, and Robbie's seat was the most cut out seat I've seen in anybody in that garage area. And I think that's, just gives him a lot more area to swing his elbows and stuff.
And it looked like he's passing the 14 there to the inside. What you saw at the window, you saw him give him a little wave as he goes by him. But when you look at it, Robbie's got an old school seat. It almost looks like what we used to run,
exactly.
what guys used to run.
And then you look at the feet, really different. Robbie's feet are way high on the pedals. And I can see that on the brake pedal because the strongest part of your foot is down lower, and you want a lot of pressure on the brake. But it's just interesting, if you look at Kasey's feet, his feet are lower on the pedals, and it's so incredible to watch these guys, how they work the pedals differently.
The bad news continues for Denny Hamlin. He was too fast exiting when he made his pit stop a moment ago.
And Robbie just clobbers the pedals.
Yeah, he does.
You know what I mean? And now here's Kasey Kahne. See how his feet are lower? But it's just a lot slower movement. It's just two totally different. They're still going at exactly the same speed.
Yeah, they just get there two different. And you look at Kasey. Watch Kasey on the brake pedal, the one on the left. That's just his brake pedal. When he pushes it, there he is hard on the brakes, and you see him blip it with his right foot. But look, he trails off pretty good. Robbie's really on it hard and off it hard, both of them.
Yeah.
You see Kasey reach over for the clutch there a minute. That was pretty amazing. That was on an upshift, but that was pretty amazing. You don't see that a lot.
And that T-bar on the top right there, that's if the throttle sticks. And if the throttle sticks, you're supposed to be able to reach up there with your toe and pull the pedal up. I'm usually reaching for the kill switch when it happens. But that's why that's there on that pedal.
So we look at some of the comforts of what we see on track today. And for more on today's Haynes Comfort Zone, let's hear from Larry McReynolds.
Well, look right here. This is a car from back in the mid-'80s, the 11 car of Darrell Waltrip. But I want you just to look at the cockpit of this race car. Look at the seat. Look at the steering wheel. Look how much room that Darrell had in that race car. So now we're going to spin ahead to 2010. When you look at our seat on our sport car here, the driver is almost in a cocoon. His head sits back in here, and it really can't move once it's in here. You even look down in this area right here. His legs are supported. He's just sitting in this little cocoon here where nothing can happen to him on a hard impact. If you go and look at some of the impacts that drivers have had, one of the reasons they stayed safe, yes, safer barriers, head and neck restraint devices, but mainly because of this seat and leg support system. Even if you go back in the day, steering wheels were bolted on. Today, they have this quick release that lets it go on, lets it come off. That's a safety item as well, guys.
And another reason for all that stuff, it definitely safety's first, but it also holds you in the car. It holds you in place because, you can go around and run a couple laps and everything's fine, but after you've been in these cars for 25, 30 laps, you start falling out of the seat, literally.
Yeah, and I'll say this. When I first started driving, the King said this: steering wheel's for steering, not for hanging on to. Don't hold yourself in the car with the steering wheel. If you find you are, move your seat around and work on the car.
I think Jimmie Johnson's comfortable right now. He's out front. His lead 2.3 seconds over second place Marcus Ambrose. Race 16 for the Sprint Cup Series in 2010. Making left and right-hand turns through wine country. Welcome back to the Toyota Save Mart 350. With Kyle Petty and Wally Dallenbach, I'm Adam Alexander. Jimmie Johnson has been solid all day long. He leads Marcus Ambrose by 3.4 seconds. We go through the field, beginning with Ralph Shaheen.
Well, absolutely nothing has changed with the 48. He's out front and he's dominating. They just keep telling him, be smooth, go easy on the tires, keep an eye on the fuel, save us as much as you can when you can. And if Larry McReynolds' numbers are right, he pitted around lap 34, so Matt, he could be on a 2-stop run here today.
Ralph, a very solid run by corporate teammates Marcos Ambrose in the 47 and Martin Truex in the 56. Ambrose, when he was passed by Jimmie Johnson, Keith Mike told Frankie Kerr, definitely need more wedge, which we did on the first stop. Also, he wants to throw in possibly a big spring rubber in the left rear to try to help more with forward bite. Meanwhile, the 56 of Truex back on lap 49 moved into third. Solid drive so far. On exit, needs a little more help. They made an air pressure change in the last stop. He says the car is better. Marty.
Matt, Jeff Gordon sitting back there in the 4th position. He said they did not fix his biggest issue, which is tight on all the right-hand turns. Steve Letarte simply said, I'll make a bigger adjustment next time. Remember, Gordon much better at the end of these runs. So the longer they go, the more Gordon's able to move up through the field, Phil.
Marty, Juan Montoya pitted on lap number 12. They put 4 tires on it and took a round of wedge out of it. He's a little bit tight in turn 4. They came back in lap 33, 4 tires and absolutely no changes, Marty.
Behind Montoya is Kurt Busch in the 6th position. Not happy with his car. The place he's getting beaten the most is entry in the corner, especially top of the hill, turn 4 and turn 7. That's where he's getting beaten. And in a road course, you can't be beaten into the corner. Another problem to keep in mind, on restarts, the car starts to sputter. Matt?
A solid weekend by Kevin Harvick and also his KHI conglomerates. His car had a good run up at Elkhart Lake on yesterday. Also, Harvick is sponsoring Californian Jason Gore in the Pebble Beach PGA Golf Tournament. He made the final cut and is playing today down at Pebble Beach while Harvick is playing up here, currently running in the 7th position. He said the car needs a little more help on exit. Meanwhile,
well, Matt, you can see why Jeff Burton has 2 top 10s in his last 4 Infineon races. Another solid day. They're hanging in there. The car is very good. Burton said on the last stop they really didn't help the balance. He wants a bigger swing at the chassis this next time. His problem, loose right there on the exit of a corner. That's the biggest problem for that 31, Ralph.
Well, Marty, everything's going pretty good for Boris Said right now, too. He's on the pace of what he wants to do. The car is working the way he likes it. No major changes. He told me today before he crawled in the car, I just want to keep this thing clean, be within sight, and then the last 20 laps, Larry McReynolds, that's when he's going to push hard.
Right behind Boris Said is Ryan Newman in that 39 car. Started in the 13th position, sitting there in 11th. Ryan, of course, needs a great run. He's one of those guys we talked about in the countdown to the green, just outside the top 12. But behind him, Robbie Gordon in that 7 car. Robbie started in the 16th position. I know Robbie wants to win this race, but Robbie needs a top 15 run. Remember, comes in here just inside the top 35 in owner points. And back to Marcos Ambrose, who's running in 2nd right now. I think he might be on pit road right now. He's on the 3-stop strategy, Matt.
Absolutely. His guys are up on the wall waiting for Marcos to make his way down to his pit box down a very long pit road, the longest one we got here in NASCAR. Comes to a stop. We told you, keep an eye on the wedge adjustment. You can see the wrench going in the back window, handoff going to the second can. The adjustment completed, air pressure change as well for the 47. Very good race car, just trying to make it better. A little bit of a hiccup there. Finally, he is away.
17.5 seconds on the stopwatch for Marcus Ambrose in regard to that pit stop. He was running 2nd when he came in. Everyone chasing Jimmie Johnson. He leads with 52 complete. Welcome back to the Infineon Raceway. You're watching NASCAR on TNT, and now we take an inside look at what's happening now in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, brought to you by Sprint and Evo 4G, America's first 4G phone. Kevin Harvick entered the point leader. He's been good today, currently riding 6th. And our fastest lap of the day, Jimmie Johnson. He is the race leader. For more NASCAR stats and live in-car audio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile and the new Evo, only from Sprint, at sprint.com/speed. Hendrick Motorsports has won on a road course 14 different times. Jimmie Johnson has been the guy here today after starting on the front row and grabbing the early lead. No one has had anything for driver 48. But guys, in our countdown to green earlier this afternoon, we talked a lot about Joe Gibbs Racing and how good they have been in recent weeks. Denny Hamlin, of course, winning the last 2 races. Kyle Busch, very good in the points. He's been successful. Not a good day for JGR this afternoon.
Yeah, I think, we talked about it too, about the races coming up. There's different racetracks. It could really shake things up because you've got, you've got the road course, and then you've got, New Hampshire with flat 1 mile. Then you've got Daytona. Anything can happen in a restrictor plate race. So these next 4 races, I think, are really key on getting through it with as many points as you can.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you something. I don't know what this 48 team and the 24, looking at them here, the way they're accelerating off the corner. But when you start looking at a Loudon that gets hot and slick and accelerating up, if they can carry this over to there,
right,
they'll be incredible by the time we get to Loudon.
Only 1 caution today for 2 laps. Kyle Busch involved in that, but as you can see, he is back on track after spending some 33 laps in the Sprint Cup Series garage here today.
Yeah, and I don't I don't know what all the damage was, but obviously they felt the need to make this car to go in and cut the entire front end off, because you can see the black stripes on the right front fender right there, and on the left front. That's where they basically sheared that car off from the hood mount forward, took everything off and put a totally different nose, totally different hood, totally different fenders on that thing to send him back out. And we've seen him. He's run right here behind the 24 since he came out 5 or 6 laps ago. We were having some other issues, and we didn't tell everybody when he came back out because we were watching the 11 and watching some of the other stuff. But they fixed this car. When you compare his times to what Denny's doing without a hood, these guys, I won't say it was time well spent, but at least it makes it more comfortable for these guys while they're out there racing.
It's been a quiet success for Jeff Gordon in 2010. He's 3rd right now, Marty.
But Adam, you can always count on him to be good at the road courses. Gordon's still struggling with a little bit of lack of forward bite, and also the car is getting a little bit better the longer they run. But Jeff really told me this morning that they have lost a little bit of the advantage they used to have at road courses. The old car, when they had it, they had an advantage. Now with the new car, they don't. Adam?
Second caution of the day, Marty. As you can see, Dave Blaney slowed on the track. I'm just talking about the fact that all 43 cars that started this race were running. Dave Blaney started 43rd, and he's got issues.
He's got issues, and you can see instantly as soon as he spun around and stopped, he dropped the window net to let NASCAR and everybody know that, hey, my day's over.
So caution number 2 comes out at lap 57. Dave Blaney slowed on the track. Johnson still leads. 2 laps past halfway, and the leader's on pit road under caution. Matt?
Truex stopped short in his box. The left side's going on. Slight air pressure change to help on exit. He's around the 29 of Harvick.
See, Jimmie Johnson had made his pit stop and appeared to be the first to leave pit road. Johnson had a 13-second lead prior to the caution coming out, and we watched the race off the pit lane, much like the rest of the day. No contest for Jimmie Johnson. Jeff Gordon, the 3rd off of pit road. Back downstairs.
AA Juan Montoya came in from the 4th position. He said the right rear was sliding around a little bit. Brian Patty put a round of wedge in the right rear, 4 tires, and he's good to go, Marty.
Oh, such a tough call for these crew chiefs, Phil. Steve Letarte finally made the call last second for Jeff Gordon to come down pit road. The car way too loose. They put 2 rounds in the left rear wedge, trying to make that car tighten for Jeff Gordon, and 4 fresh tires. Ralph?
The only thing they did to Jimmie Johnson was adjust air pressures. They went back to the original settings that they ran on the first set because they thought they were losing a little bit of side bite. They wanted to improve that. He also took a protein drink, Adam. That's all he's done. And Chad Knaus just told him, go like crazy. Everybody's going to have to make at least 1 more stop so you can run it as hard as you want.
I asked Kyle Petty about strategy before the race, a little playing out here. A report Tony Stewart stayed on the racetrack. Jimmie Johnson leads. Actually, it's Boris Said out front at Sonoma. 59 of 110 laps completed in Infineon Raceway. We are under our 2nd caution of the day. Dave Blaney slowed on the track. Jimmie Johnson was the race leader, came to pit road, and was the quickest off pit lane. But the top 6 drivers, Said, Stewart, Ambrose, Ekstrom, Reagan, and Biffle, all stayed on the racetrack. The strategy starting to play out a bit in the middle part of this race, Larry.
Well, it's going to take a very unique strategy, I think, to beat that 48 car, but no one can make it to the end of this race. They all have to make at least one stop. Now, what I like about those guys right there, honestly, especially Marcos Ambrose, I think what I would do is take these last 50 laps, and I would almost in half, run 25, make my final pit stop, 4 fresh tires, and enough fuel to go to the end. I like what those guys have done up there at the front, those top 6.
Boris said the race leader the last time he came to pit road at lap 28. For Tony Stewart, who is currently second, the last time he was in lap 36. And Larry talking about Marcos Ambrose, they pitted at lap 26 and again at lap 52. They have certainly come to the track with strategy in mind.
But this is where it gets interesting. Just like Larry said, this is where, from a road course perspective, it's strategy that puts you in position to win the races. We saw the 48. He can outrun everybody. But if his strategy doesn't play out and put him in position to outrun everybody, it means absolutely nothing.
And now you're in traffic,
yes,
which is a lot different than being up front and not having anybody to really deal with.
Another driver we've not talked a lot about today. It's on the same cycle as Jimmie Johnson, the man right beside him at the restart, Martin Truex Jr. He restarts in the 8th position. Green flag in the air at lap 60. Great jump for the leader, Boris said.
Whoa, whoa, hang on, Boris. He started sliding way down there by the bridge.
If you can't beat him to the corner, just dust him out when you get up there. Just run out through the dirt. He drove off in turn 1 and when he got way out of shape out there. And remember, he's got older tires on, so he's picked up trash.
Jeff Gordon's been in the top 5 all day long. He's racing with Greg Biffle for position.
It's going to get busy down here. Whoa, how can he fit in there?
I don't think he can.
Oh. Wow.
Wow, what a great camera shot. Yeah, that is so cool.
It's like I thought that camera was hung on the side of the car. We were getting ready to mash it a minute ago.
It's one thing to ride on board with the driver. It's another to hang on to his bumper as he drives through the S's.
Hey, the BSI boys done good putting these cameras on today because they've got some great shots.
Jeff Gordon, one of those that pitted a moment ago. Marty, what's the story there?
Yeah, guys, some contact on the racetrack just now. I just told Steve Letarte, be ready. I might have a right rear that just went down. Somebody got into him. Steve Letarte says right now as he's going by, we're going to try and get the best look on it that we can as he went by the pit area.
Mr. Aggressive Marcos Ambrose, you saw during Marty's report, back in the race lead. He's gone from 3rd to 1st in a lap, getting around both Stewart and Boris said.
If he had a right rear, he would have known it coming out of turn 11. There past the start finish line because you're laying on that right side and that right rear, and you can see it looks like the Goodyear has been rubbed off of it, but it appears to be still kind of up right now because he hammers it up through there.
Give a call to David Reagan, racing with Jimmie Johnson on track for the 4th position. He started outside the top 40 after wrecking here in qualifying on Friday, and he gets turned around here. Matthias Ekstrom gets him. As of now, we stay green.
Kevin Harvick made a great move right there. He picked up about 4 positions and just drove through the middle of them.
David Reagan, talk about putting the axe on his good luck. He was running 4th and going to drop outside the top 30. We look at it again, headed to turn 7.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon got into the 83 car. 83 car got the 6 car. Actually, Gordon really dodged the bullet there. Probably has a little bit of damage on his right front, but I don't think it's going to be anything to really be a concern.
And actually it's Gordon starts this because he's up all 4 tires there, gets into the 83, and then
come on, stand on it. Still to your left. Keep digging. You're in the middle of 3. Clear left, clear right. All clear.
When in doubt, stand on it.
Yeah.
And when they got into turn 11, Martin Truex Jr. off the bumper of Jeff Gordon.
What is Jeff doing right here? I mean, that's 2 times that Jeff got into the corner in a bad place. And you hate to call it, but I mean, here he is. He just drives down in the corner right here, and boom.
Pick up.
I mean, there was plenty of room to his right. What I'm saying is where the tires were, Jeff was outside where the mark was. And he had just barely dodged. He and the 56 both had just barely dodged the last wreck.
Well, this is why you enjoy being Marcos Ambrose right now, because you have nothing to worry about when you're in front of the field.
Well, when you can get out front and do this, and your competitors are knocking each other out trying to get back to you, yeah, you love this.
Yeah. 48. Look at this guy, man. I'm telling you, that car is about as hooked up as I've seen in a Cup car here in a long time.
So Johnson, who restarted 7th around Stewart, he's now 3rd.
The corner he just passed Tony Stewart on is a corner you set up. You use as a setup corner. Caution.
3rd caution of the day.
We got one in the.
Yep, that's Brad Keselowski off track at turn 10.
There's a couple of guys that needed this. Jeff needs about halfway to get his stuff back together.
Oh, lots of damage on the left front. Splitters all tore up. Well, Brad just got loose coming through there and just never could catch it.
And that looks exactly like Hornish the other day in practice.
Yeah.
Same thing. Once he got through the corner, it got away from him, and he ended up in about the same place.
Heavy damage for Brad Keselowski. Top 5 run yesterday at Road America in the nationwide race. Of course, he is the point leader in that series. 33rd is where he is right now.
4 tires. Fix that damage. Fix that damage. We're 5 away. 5 away.
You can see how it's caved in on the top. It's where you get up under the tires. You know what I mean? Which is, remember
the splitters. That's the big thing right there. All that other stuff is one thing, but that splitter sticking up there in the left front.
The splitter is a piece,
bad.
yeah, that you just give up all your downforce.
Yeah.
You know, used to with the Cup cars, everybody was worried about your fenders being out, your fenders being for the downforce. Now all that downforce is right there.
Brad Keselowski on pit road, a victim of the road course at Sonoma. Marcus Ambrose, your race leader. The Toyota Save Mart 350 well underway here in Sonoma, California at the Infineon Raceway. Marcus Ambrose is the race leader. We are under caution for the 3rd time today when Brad Keselowski left the track a couple of laps ago. You see Boris Said on track. He's currently scored in the 2nd position. He's an outstanding road racer, but communication is key when it comes to strategy.
If they're not going, pit. No, they're all going. Should I go or stay? Damn it, Frank. You've got to tell me more clearly. I just stayed out. Everybody pitted. I said pit 3 times right there. You're fine, okay? You'll be fine, all right?
Larry, why can't you just be more clear?
Well, here's the thing I want to set up. You know, again, it's going to take a lot, I think, to beat that 48 or that 47 car. But when I look right now, and we're going to have about 44 or 45 laps to go, what I like about the guys that just pitted and guys that may get a second chance right now, like Boris said, we're right there on the outside of that window of being able to make it to the end without stopping. It may not be a race-winning move, but these guys may buy a top 5 or top 10 by pitting right now.
Morissette did not elect to come down pit road, even though the caution is still out. Some of the drivers who did come under caution at lap 64, Greg Biffle, Martin Truex Jr., Dale Earnhardt Jr., David Reagan, Scott Speed, Paul Menard, a few of those that took advantage of this caution flag. Marcus Ambrose, your leader at Sonoma.
The Toyota Save Mart 350 on TNT is brought to you by the Home Depot, proud sponsor of Joey Logano and the number 20 team. Race fans, visit HomeDepot.com for all your home improvement needs. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
If you come to Sonoma, bring your camera. Plenty of pictures here, and right now the viewfinder for Marcus Ambrose, very good, because he is the race leader, starting alongside Boris Said. The green flag going back in the air at lap 66.
Wow.
Ooh, a lot of wheel spin back there on that. Oh, we got trouble. They're stacking up back there.
4 cars involved. Paul Menard, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., Max Pappas among those.
And that was all
got a piece of it.
all due to that wheel spin. Those guys, when they got on the gas, there was a bunch of guys that got loose. Their rear tires broke loose, and it stacked them up behind.
Yeah, that inside line just didn't go with Boris when he spun. And we were just watching out the window here, not what was on TV, but watching that.
Just watch everybody almost from the middle to the front. As soon as they go, you'll see guys.
This is where it starts.
Yeah,
it starts at the beginning. Let's be real clear. It starts in the first 4 or 5 cars. But these are the guys that look at them back here.
Oh, man, some of those guys just barreled in there.
Yeah, they were going, man.
You know, Truex had been good all day long. He had been penalized because when he pitted, a tire got away. He had to start at the tail end of the longest line, and here you see the results.
Wow.
Checking up.
So we go from our 4th caution to a red flag at Sonoma.
And that bumper camera, is that one? He just said I got killed from behind. I think that was one. These guys, that's at the front of the pack, and that just, it's the accordion effect that everybody talks about. You see it on the highway, you see it at stop signs, you see it at stop lights, man. You see it everywhere. This is why I feel Truex had a great day running, and then got spun and got put in that position.
Most drivers have driven away. Martin Truex Jr. has climbed from his car. Safety workers at the machine of Sam Hornish Jr. back in a moment. NASCAR on TNT, happy to be bringing you live coverage of the Toyota Save Mart 350 from Infineon Raceway. We had just cleaned up our 3rd caution of the day. The restart has left a big-time bunch of debris on the front straightaway. Martin Truex Jr.'s car still sitting idle. And as we sit here under the red flag, we take you to today's Verizon Race Summary. 6 leaders today. There have been 7 lead changes. Our average speed, 77.178 miles per hour, and there have been 4 cautions for a total of 6 laps. One more time, we check out the last restart, and while we were in break, Wally, you and Kyle both making note of some different things that happened back in the pack.
It started at the 42, the 83, 42, and 2, and that's where those guys had trouble, but the guys in the back were going.
These guys in the back, as you see that bunch up, you see these guys, they're coming, they're still on the gas. These guys back here, we're following the front, but as you follow the back, you watch this. Right as we come around the corner here, if you look at the 42 of Juan, the 83, and the 2 of Kyle or Kurt Busch, watch those 3 cars kind of bounce off each other way back here. This is right back here at the turn. Watch the 42 accelerate into the back of the 83. Boom, right there, he hits him. Then he's out of shape. Then you see these guys in the outside line trying to dodge stuff. And then you see all these guys, they're coming. These guys are on the gas right here.
And you can't really see around that corner.
No.
So when they say green, 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 you hammer it, and you come around the corner, and then all of a sudden these guys are stopped.
Ready. This is Juan. Listen to the spot. Listen to the audio here, too. Boom.
Ready, green. I got killed from behind.
See, and Juan just said, I got killed from behind. He runs into the back of that car, but at the same time, he's getting hit from the back. So it's absolutely a chain reaction.
So it was Kurt Busch that got into the tail end of Juan Pablo Montoya. Matthias Ekstrom was the 83 car right in front of Montoya.
And it was not his fault or anybody's. Here's what amazed me about this wreck. I want you to see where the wreck ended up, all the way down here past the start-finish line. It started down here. Remember, these guys are only in 1st and 2nd gear. That's how much speed they carry on a restart, that they carried these cars all the way down almost the full length of the straightaway, just running into each other.
So as we clean it up, Marcus Ambrose is the leader. They got to be happy in his camp, Matt.
All smiles here. And Frankie Kerr, at one point, you guys had debated pitting under that last caution. That would have put you back in that mess.
Yeah, well, just a little bit. We thought about it, but we're going to stick to our game plan that we started the day with and continue on it. And so far, it's working out okay.
So where are you looking at the final window here when we'll see that 47 on pit road?
Probably in the late 70s. We're going to make one more adjustment and see if we can't beat that 48 car.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Ralph?
Matt, I'm over here with another Frankie Stoddard, crew chief of the number 26 aboard his set. All right, Frankie, how close are you on pit stops? What's your strategy?
Well, it depends on how many more cautions we get. The way these guys are wrecking, we might just stay out till the end, but we'll probably come in another 7, 8 laps and see if we can get some fuel and tires in this air guard car and have a shot at it.
We heard you guys battering back and forth a little bit on the radio about when to pit. He didn't think you gave him clear enough instructions. How hard do you guys work on that sort of thing?
Well, with Boris, you know, if I'm not in the car, actually turning the wheel into the pits, he struggles with anything that I ever say to him, okay? So the clearest thing I could do would be to ride as a co-pilot in there. You know, at Baja, see when he runs Baja, he's got somebody over there that'll tell him what to do or actually grab the wheel out of his hand. But, you know, it's tough. I mean, basically what I said was if the top 5 stayed out, I wanted to come. I felt like everybody behind us would come. And if the top 5 came, I wanted to try to stay and hope that maybe 8-10 guys stayed out behind us, which is about what happened. We didn't really need these cautions because we had drove away to where probably only Jimmie Johnson was going to get by us, maybe, before we pit. And we're going to be in pretty good shape for the end. But that's okay. This will work out. We're not bad.
Phil, they're sitting third right now.
Yeah, I'm sitting here with Greg Irvin, Ralph, and he told me right before this last restart, I asked him if he could make it from 46 laps, and he said, we're going to have to. They've been figuring furiously here. I know Greg Biffle, from the time he left pit road on his last pit stop, was saving fuel. He's been shutting the car off on the caution flags. These caution laps are going to help as well. Let's talk to Greg right now. Greg, you told me that with 46 laps to go that you're going to have to make it. You still on that plan?
Yeah, we're working on it right now. We're doing a little bit of comparing to what we had a couple years ago. I think we can make it. Honestly, I think we do. And he does a really good job of saving gas when he knows that's what he's got to do. So we'll see what happens. And the way these yellows play out right here could change everything in 10 laps. You know, you get a big pile up, somebody flat spots their tires, we'll all be coming for tires again.
Do you need a few caution laps to make it?
Yeah, I'd feel better with a couple.
All right, thank you, Greg. Back upstairs, Adam.
Thank you, Phil. Interesting to hear the different philosophies as we set under the red flag at lap 67 here in Sonoma. And now we take an inside look at what's happening now in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Brought to you by Sprint and Evo 4G, America's first 4G phone. You see Matthias Ekstrom. He is the biggest mover in today's race. How about advancing from outside the top 30 up to 6th in the running order? And the fastest lap today, 91 miles per hour, recorded by Jimmie Johnson. Right now he is 5th, but he has led more laps today than any other driver. For more NASCAR stats, live in-car audio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile and the new Evo, only from Sprint, at sprint.com/speed. So we saw Jimmie Johnson on track. He's been the car to beat today, Ralph.
Boy, has he, Adam. And here now with Chad Knaus, his crew chief. Chad, you guys have had an unbelievably smooth day so far. Are you right on pace? Is there anything going wrong with your strategy at this point?
Not yet. I hope you didn't jinx me. But, you know, I'm really proud of the whole Lowe's team. Jimmie's done a great job. He's taken quite an interest in road racing. Obviously, he's putting in a lot of personal extra effort to try to get better at the road racing, going to Watkins Glen while we were in Pocono, running the DP car there. And he's just done a fantastic job all weekend long. And all the guys at HMS did a great job. We brought a different kind of race car than what we've typically run, and it's performed flawlessly all weekend. So we're really stoked.
Adam, as smooth as they're going, I don't think anything can jinx these guys today. They're pretty strong.
They have been good, Wally.
It's a good point. I mean, you know, Jimmie he's been doing a lot of road racing because he wants this to matter. We heard the 11 bunch go, we tested for 2 hours on a road course. Well, you know what? You see the difference, and you can't throw any of these races away anymore.
No, and you know, we were up at I think at Pocono or whatever when he went over to Watkins Glen, and everybody was like, oh, 4-time champion Jimmie Johnson, he's getting away from here, he's going over. What's up with that? He could get hurt, something could happen. I think you're seeing that he was in that rhythm. He's focused on it, and I think Chad and those guys appreciate the effort that he's putting in, and they work double hard on the car.
See if we can learn more about what happened on that last restart. Martin Truex Jr. involved is with Marty Snyder.
Out of the care center, Adam. Happy to report everything is okay, and I'm not sure what's got you more upset, the restart or the incident with the 24 that really put you back there in the first place, Martin.
Yeah, there was no reason for us to be, you know, in that position right there on that restart. Just, you know, guys driving without respect on restarts, and you know, I was 5 or 6 cars clear of the 24 going into 11, and for some reason he just turned me around. So it's all right. What comes around goes around. These guys don't want to have any respect for me. I ain't gonna have none for them, and I get him at Loudon.
You have not had any problems with Jeff before?
Not since my rookie year, but you know, it just comes down to, you know, every week we have these double file restarts, and everybody's head just gets all ridiculous, and you know, everybody loses their head and drives like idiots. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Everything's fine until we have restarts, and then it's like guys run a 10th, they're going to win the race, you know. So it's just stupid. It's uncalled for. You know, the unfortunate part is you know, all the guys on my team worked so hard, and you know, we had an awesome car sitting there running in the top 5 all day long, and just hate it for napping everybody involved. We were looking at having a really good day here and having a lot of fun, and it's just got ruined by one stupid move.
Jeff did apologize. Did that message get to you?
No, but does it matter? You know, we're sitting here on the trailer, and he's out there going to run for the win, so it's all right. We'll get him.
All right, Martin Truex Jr. clearly upset, not so much about the restart, guys, but more about what happened with Jeff Gordon to lead up to that point.
It's all about getting even, Marty. You know that.
but okay, and for all you Jeff Gordon fans out there, I want you to go back a few races this year to Talladega. When the 48 cut the 24 off, he had to run down on the flat. He got back up in line, and then around the corner got taken out in somebody else's wreck because he lost his momentum. Something happened to him. That's exactly the same thing that happened to the 56 car. Jeff spins him. He gets in a bad place on the racetrack, and he's in an accident. It all starts with a prior incident. Jeff got taken out of Talladega for that reason. This happened here. And I'm going to say something. You know, I don't believe I'd mess with Truex. You know what I mean?
I don't think I would either.
I mean, he's one of those quiet guys like Kenseth and those guys. You don't mess with the quiet guys. You know what I mean? It's okay to mess with mouthy guys like me. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to run my mouth about it. But the quiet guys, no, man, don't mess with them.
You're kind of quiet, Wally. TNT tonight. It's finally here, a new season and a new reason to get more leverage. Don't miss the Leverage 2-hour season premiere event. It's tonight, 9/8 Central, only on TNT. We heard from Martin Truex Jr., and just to make sure everyone knows, he is obviously okay, and the other driver that made the trip to the care center, good as well, Marty Snyder with Sam Hornish Jr.
Yeah, a couple guys have been able to drive back here. Sam probably took the hardest shot. Did you have much time to react at all to that, Sam?
Well, I think I saw some of the tire smoke before anything was mentioned from the spotters, but you know, that's a tough place right there because there's not usually any problems there, so nobody's really looking for it. But you know, we didn't have a very good car today. We were just trying to make it to the end and, you know, get a good point stay out of it, and unfortunately we weren't able to do that. So frustrating, but you know, I like racing at Loudoun, so we'll look forward to that.
All right, I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you.
All right, Sam Hornish Jr., we'll see him next week in New Hampshire, but okay, and out of the care center, Adam.
And those are the only 2 drivers that were taken to the care center. Those other drivers involved all, to my knowledge, were able to drive away from the accident scene. See Ryan Newman. It's been a yo-yo day for him, Matt.
Absolutely, Adam. He was involved in that accordion effect. You can see the donut on the door, but their concern is the front of that race car because he said he hit a car in front, not sure how significant, if at all, the damage. But the team are going to take a look at it. Had a solid run going so far. The other concern, just trying to find more side bite for this 39 machine from here to the finish.
Front looks pretty good. I mean, from our vantage here, Matt, looks like the splitter's clean anyway.
If you're just joining us in Sonoma, we've completed 66 of 110 laps in this afternoon's Toyota Save Mart 350. And we are under the red flag for an accident that happened on a restart at lap 66. There were 6 cars involved, a lot of debris littered along this front straight, and therefore NASCAR has thrown out the red flag, and we await an opportunity to get it cleaned up and go back under the green flag. Everyone okay in the incident, and when we resume racing, Marcus Ambrose will be the race leader. Back to Northern California in a moment.
Welcome back to NASCAR on TNT, coming at you from Infineon Raceway. 45 laps left to go, but right now we are under red flag conditions because of an incident involving Martin Truex Jr. as well as Sam Hornish Jr. And Larry, this is not what these guys want to see right now.
No, it wasn't, Lindsay, but I love what's setting up here. We've got about 44 laps to go, and I think we have a lot of different agendas and a lot of different strategies. But honestly, to beat that 48 car, Jimmie Johnson, Chad Canals, I think you're going to have to be on a different strategy than that group has been today.
We also have a lot of unhappy egos out there right now. Let's take a look back at our highlights. Okay, here we go. Race recap for you. And things got interesting early on. A.J. Allmendinger there. Ooh, touching up Clint Boyer a little bit. Clint Boyer can't be happy about that one.
Yeah, this brought out the first caution, and the man that comes in here second to point, Kyle Busch, that 18, had to go to the garage area for repairs.
And really, he had struggled all weekend long. Here we go, Jamie McMurray, you're on board now. Ooh, he's spinning out there.
Yeah, Jamie has had a rough day, but we did stay green right here.
We did. Denny Hamlin. This was crazy, Larry McReynolds. on the pit stop, they're having issues, and it would cause even bigger problems. When does that happen?
Yeah, the man that's won 5 out of the last 10 races, he had to almost go all the way around this racetrack, but he made it back to pit road, but not a good day for that 11 team.
Well, it is a good day for the 48 team. Look at Jimmie Johnson taking the lead. This guy has been so dominant here. I mean, Larry, we could see him get his first road course victory.
Here you're going to see David Reagan in the 6 car running up in the top 5, and that's a backup car, crash qualifying, and he gets spun out.
Yeah, take a look here. Oh, this is what irked him big time. Martin Truex Jr. on the restart had problems with Jeff Gordon, and he had some fighting words.
And this was a restart just about a lap ago. It all started at the front, but then it stacked up. You saw Martin Truex Jr., Sam Hornish Jr., Max Pappas, about 5 cars involved in that wreck on a restart.
You know, we do have some more guys we've caught up to, but I want to ask you, I mean, this whole factor about respect, these guys keep talking about that week in, week out, especially lack of respect on restarts.
Yeah, I'm not sure that with a double file restart at a road course with about 44 laps to go, I think respect goes out the window. I'm not sure it exists anymore.
There we go. All right, getting ready to crank the engines, but right now we're going to go to Matt Yoakum with Gil Martin.
And Gil Martin just talking to Kevin Harvick on the radio. And Gil, looking up the monitor, you're sitting 4th. Looking at the trends of this race, to me, one of the biggest ones, just how important new tires are.
I tell you, new tires have been extremely important today. Earlier in the race, where Burton was back in the back right there, 10 laps fresher tires came through the field just so easy. So a lot of guys are going to try to pit early right here just for the fuel mileage standpoint. But having 10 or 15 laps fresher tires at the end of this race is going to be huge.
Looking at from here to the finish, what do you think is going to be the biggest thing that you're going to have to battle against strategy-wise here, as well as your driver?
Well, I mean, it's going to be track position because you're going to have so many strategies that's going to unfold here in the next few minutes. But I think you're going to have to stay with the guys that you're racing with, because if you get caught totally off sequence, even if you've got fresher tires, if the laps dwindle down, you're going to run out of time. So you're going to pit about the same time that everybody does and then hope for the best.
He's got a win at the Glen, Phil, looking for a win here at Infineon.
Matt, Matthias Ekstrom has never been in a Sprint Cup race. He's a 2-time German World Rallying Champion. I talked to Jimmy Elledge's crew chief, and he said they're doing a great job. He's doing a terrific job. He said he's going to wait till about 20 laps to go. He said he wants fresh tires, just like Gil Martin was talking about. He wants fresh tires toward the end of the race. I said, I keep hearing him saying that his car is awesome. And Jimmy Elledge said, I'll guarantee you that between you and Kyle Petty and Wally Dallenbach, he said the car was awesome more than you 3 put together in your careers.
Yeah. I love the optimism.
Yeah.
Matthias Ekstrom in that 83 car, and it's been somewhat of a revolving door as far as drivers are concerned. You know, it was a year ago Brian Vickers put this car in the chase. A very successful run through the summer months, got them a part of NASCAR's version of the playoffs. Of course, Dover weekend, Brian experiencing blood clots. He left the race car and has since announced he will not drive again in 2010. They brought Casey Mears in to drive over the course of the next 3 races. They had always planned to put Ekstrom in here at the road course, but a problem last week between Red Bull teammates has taken Mears out. Next week, Reed Sorensen behind the wheel. And as we tell you the story of the 83, here comes the 26. Boris Said on pit road in front of Ralph.
Well, they were saying they needed to make this one final pit stop here. You heard Frankie Stoddard say if they got enough fuel this time, they think they can go all the way, Phil Parsons, so they'll take 4 tires and all the fuel they can pack in there.
Ralph, Greg Biffle was on a strategy to try to go the rest of the way, but I think Greg Irwin, after doing all the figuring, said there's no way we can make it. Let's go ahead. We know we can do it from here. Let's go ahead and put 4 tires on this 3M car and go to the end.
These pit stops taking place at lap 67. Mark Martin, another one of the drivers in, and just in front of him you see Robbie Gordon getting a pit stop. So the red flag has been lifted. We are back under the caution, and teams taking advantage, an opportunity to work on their race car. Marcus Ambrose, the race leader. Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick, Jimmie Johnson, Jeff Gordon, the top 5. We've completed 67 laps in the Toyota Save Mart 350. Getting set to go back under the green flag in Sonoma. Marcus Ambrose, the race leader. He's one of 6 different drivers that have been out front today. Jimmie Johnson has led more laps than any other. 48 times he has had the field in tow. Johnson will restart in the 4th position. Good day for point leader Kevin Harvick. He will restart 3rd here. And how would you like to win up to $1 million? You can do so. 3 weeks remain. Actually, someone could win today, although the opportunity to get your picks in has come and gone. Log on to NASCAR.com TNT Million. You have up until the 1/4 point in the next 3 races to get your picks in. Pick the top 10 drivers in correct finishing order in the next 3 races. And each race, you have to do it. You don't have to do it for every race. One race is its own competition, and if you were able to pick the top 10 in order, you can win up to $1 million. Robbie Gordon came down pit road at lap 68, topped off the fuel tank, as did Mark Martin. Kasey Kahne, who won this race a year ago, made his last pit stop at lap 71. Marcus Ambrose is the race leader. He will have the outside position on the restart based on where we enter turn 1. He's able to make that selection as the race leader.
Yeah, it's actually, he's on the outside going into turn 1.
Right.
But you want to be the inside car when you get to turn 2. So that's why these guys are choosing that outside lane.
Green flag goes back in the air as we put lap 69 on the board, and a great jump for Ambrose. The Australian shot out of a cannon, and here's where things get interesting, tiptoeing through turn 2. This is going to get fun in a few laps, Wally, watching the 48 and the 47.
Yeah, the 48 has just been so strong. Now, we'll see if those guys' adjustments on the 47 made the car any better. But the 48 has definitely been the car to beat here today so far.
The 47 being Ambrose, the race leader. The 48, Jimmie Johnson, who is in 2nd, but has been the most impressive of them all today. Saw Clint Boyer flashing through your screen, catching the dirt. He was involved in our first caution of the day outside the top 30. He has rallied up to 10th in that 33 car.
And 2 cars behind him is the 19 that was in that same crash. And the thing is, that should, if you're watching at home, remember that. That's how you can get off sequence and still get back in a race.
Did the 33 get into the 31 car? Because all of a sudden it's smoking. It's got some damage on the rear of that car. Like Jeff Burton was had some smoke coming out there. Marty, is something did Burton get hit?
Yeah, well, actually, Wally, that happened on the restart a moment ago in Burton's. They were trying to stay out for about 5 or 6 laps. He just radioed a Todd Barrier. It's not going to make it one more lap. The water way up there. It's pegged, as a matter of fact. So Burton is going to pick the next lap. They're going to try and get some cool water in it, and at this point, just limp to the finish.
Tough break for Jeff Burton, another driver who started deep in the field today and had rallied to the front.
You're all clear? All clear.
And that's teammates running each other out in the dirt right there. But the damage has already been done. He's already been hitting the left rear, and the left rear has been driven up into the tire.
Burton entered the day 8th in the championship standings. And right now, the numbers look very good for the RCR camp. 3rd, 9th, and 10th, but we know Burton's got a pit. Another aggressive move there.
37 car who had him all locked up, it looked like.
Travis Kvapil, former Truck Series champion, driving that 37 car this week. Put his teammate David Gilliland in the 38. They swapped those 2 rides. Gilliland with a 38 car that was outside the top 35 in owner points. Much better qualifying here as you saw Jeff Burton coming to pit road. Joey Logano able to get around Carl Edwards. And also David Gilliland. He's up to 16th in the running order as Joey Logano.
You know, you got to give Joey a little bit of a nod here. Here's a guy who runs a Cup Series and never gets a chance to run any road races except here in Watkins Glen. He's not one of those guys that you hear that's out running the Nationwide Series and doing some of this stuff. So when you look at his whole career, he's got, what, 6 or 7, maybe 10 or 12 races in a heavy car on a road course, and he's holding his own with the likes of Carl Edwards and A.J. Allmendinger and guys like that.
He's been managing his sophomore season very well. 72 laps complete. We anticipate green flag pit stops when we return to Sonoma. Fans want more TNT coverage? The Coca-Cola in-car camera on Race Buddy lets you ride shotgun with Coca-Cola racing family drivers. Check out the Coca-Cola in-car camera on NASCAR.com's Race Buddy now. And here you ride on board with Kevin Harvick, the point leader. And he is third on the racetrack. And as we were in break, we were a little surprised discussing the 2 men in front of Harvick. Marcus Ambrose, who has the lead, and Jimmie Johnson, who is currently second. Johnson's been strong all day, but right here, Ambrose holding him back.
Yeah, but you can see that Jimmie's slowly catching Ambrose. And I think the more they run on these tires, the 48 just doesn't fall off. Everybody else falls off, and that's what makes the Jimmie Johnson's car look so good. I think he's just biding his time right now.
Yeah.
Haven't talked a lot about Tony Stewart in the last 20 laps or so, but he's been good today. Currently 5th is where Smoke is in the running order. But the last time he made a pit stop, lap 36, that's almost 40 laps ago. A 2-stop strategy for them, so he will be coming soon as you see Kurt Busch drive to the inside of Stewart for a spot in the top 5.
And Kurt Busch is also, he's been marching forward here lately too. He's been slowly but surely getting to the front. So whatever adjustments they made to that car, seems like it's working.
It's like last week at Michigan, we had 2 or 3 cars that were the class of the field. And Kurt was one of them last week, and he's been a top 4 or 5 car ever since they dropped the green flag here. Tony's doing a great job just hanging on to this thing and keeping it up there. Track position, track position, track position. They made their bet. Here he comes down pit road, but they decided what their strategy was, and they've stuck with it through cautions, through red flags. It made no difference.
Tony Stewart makes his pit stop, giving up the 6th position, and his second trip to pit road this afternoon will come at lap 75. Let's follow the stop. Here's Marty Snyder.
Well, guys, remember on the first stop of the day, they came later than everybody else. That backfired on them, so now they're coming a little bit earlier than everybody else. Darian Grubb making the call. Stewart extremely loose right now, so they make wedge adjustments on both sides, trying to tighten it up. Matt Kenseth behind him has had a pretty good day today. Matt running up towards the top 10. His car loose as well. A little bit of front end damage for Matt Kenseth, and a wedge adjustment for Kenseth as well.
Cars look so slow leaving pit road at 35 miles per hour.
You know, I've been impressed with this Ekstrom guy. He's done a really nice job. You know, it's one thing to come into this series, and no matter what your credentials are, you can lay down a fast lap and continue to run fast laps, but it's different racing with these Cup guys, because these Cup guys are so ruthless. But this guy's run a very smart race so far, and I'm really impressed.
Run a smart race and probably has one of the cleanest cars out there right now, because he's just not got in anybody's way. When accidents happen, he got hit in the rear, something happened on a restart. Not his fault. There was stuff in front of him. So and you know how hard these guys don't respect people when they come in,
especially new guys. You're
new
right.
guys. Yeah. Tommy Kendall, when he drove our car out here one year when I was hurt, and I told him, I said, when you get to the top of the hill, don't swing out in that road racing stuff, or they'll wear out that right side door. He come back around, you couldn't even read the 42 car. Phil.
Guys, Juan Montoya's in the pit. They're going to put a rubber in the left rear. He says it's loose in the right-handers, tight in the left-handers. This should be the last pit stop for Juan Montoya here, a former winner in 2007.
Ooh, they got a little problem there in the left front.
Oh, yeah. The fender's in the way. You see them trying to pull the fender. Once they got the tire off, they couldn't get it back on. The fender caved in. That soft nose that's made out of the carbon or whatever the thing is made out of, as it folded in, it wouldn't go on there.
Whatever it's made
Whatever it's made of. I don't know, man. I don't know anything. I'm not mechanical.
Jamie McMurray and Bobby Labonte, the other 2 drivers you see exiting pit road. I made the comment about Matt Kenseth, and a moment ago when he was leaving the pit lane with Tony Stewart, I said, look how slow it appears they're going. Well, he wasn't slow enough. He was caught speeding. Kenseth was entering the pit lane, and now a nice battle for the lead. Jimmie Johnson working over Ambrose in turn 11.
Yeah, now Jimmie's there where he can worry him. You know, for a little bit, Jimmie was a speck in the mirror.
What about the race car?
Okay, wait till I can get straight.
Not very fast at the track.
Hey guys, the reason Frankie Kerr is asking Marcos Ambrose about his race car, I think he's going to be hitting pit road here the next lap or two. But here's the thing I'm going to say. Regardless of what Chad Canals has on his mind, he cannot be far behind that 47 car coming to pit road, because one lap difference could be about 2.5 seconds on the racetrack with fresh tires.
Larry, I agree. In fact, if I saw the 47 ducking, wouldn't you go with him? I mean, that's the guy you're racing right now. That's the guy you're worried about.
That may be one reason the 48 is staying right where he's at.
What are they thinking in the 48 camp, Ralph?
Exactly what Larry just said. Chad Canal said when the 47 comes, we'll come with him. Right now, stay right there. Make him really nervous. Hound that back bumper. Let him know we're here to race today.
Yeah, and that's an excellent point, because it is the only guy who's got to race.
And you're going to put the pressure on the crews.
Yeah.
And the 48 bunch is pretty darn good. And that's another thing, is you put a lot of pressure on those guys under the pit stops.
Yeah, and you know, Jimmie's at this place right now where whether he was leading this 47 by 2 seconds or 5 seconds, it really doesn't make any difference at this point in time. You know what I mean? He just needs to know where his competition is. He's run with this car longer than anybody else's.
Jeff Gordon running fourth, making his pit stop under green, Marty.
Yeah, a little left side damage. He said that has hurt him, especially in turn 9, which is a left-hand turn. They're going to pull the fender damage away from the left front of this car. They're also making a track bar adjustment. He's loose off the right-handers, Matt.
We've now hit that window, the cushion, where teams feel like they can go the distance from here if we get a green-white checkered finish. 4 tires and fuel scheduled for the 9 of Kasey Kahne. No adjustment needed on this car. Meanwhile, the 39 of Ryan Newman is in. Tony Gibson said, I'll bring you in as soon as we hit the window. And Newman said, look, tires are so important. Try to give me at least another lap or two. That might help us near the end of this race. Tires are on, and he's away. He needed help with forward bite as well.
It's almost like these guys force the leader's hands. They almost need to come in now. Because every lap that you run on those older tires, these guys are going to be it. Here we go. Wow, 48 came in before the 47.
Wow.
Last time Jimmie Johnson had made a pit stop, lap 58. This one will come at lap 79. Marcos Ambrose, the race leader, has not been in since lap 52.
And you know, we talk about how critical these pit stops are at different stages of the race. And all of a sudden they get really critical right here.
Go ahead, Ralph.
Jimmie Johnson is in, making that pit stop. He came a little bit earlier than we expected him to. Everything's been very good with the car. No major changes, no chassis adjustments going on. Matt, they're ready to go racing to the finish.
And we talked to Gil Martin a little earlier. You can see a little bit of cosmetic damage to that 29 machine. He pulls to a stop. Going up on the rear pressures for Harvick. Right side tires on. Solid stop so far. Trying to score more points. And another win as the 48 of Johnson goes by. Meanwhile, still waiting on the leader, the 47 of Ambrose.
This is really going to show who's going to have the better pit stop.
Yes, it is.
Because if 48 is in the lead when the 47 comes out, then these guys had the better stop.
And this is going to show who pitted on the right laps or the way they felt like they should, because if the 29 is in front of the 47, because now he gets to run a fast lap on good tires and pick up that little bit, the whole first 2 or 3 positions may shuffle right here.
Jimmie Johnson was running second when he made his pit stop. He's now 17th. Harvick 18th.
37.50.
Gordon 19th. Stewart in 20th. Here comes the race leader, Marcos Ambrose, at lap 80, giving up the top spot for what very likely will be his final pit stop of the day. And as Marcos gets to his pit stop, we go down to Phil Parsons on Matthias Ekstrom.
What an incredible job Matthias has done today. Jimmy Ellis brought him in about 10 laps sooner. He wanted the fresh tires. They know they can make it to the end. Running up in the top third, Marty.
Phil Kirkland hits pit road. His car loose in the right-handers. That's the only adjustment he wanted, is a pound out of the left rear. Matt.
And the stop completed on our leader, Marcos Ambrose. Great stop. Spring rubber in the left rear. Air pressure change as well.
Boy, it's going to be close, and the 48, I think, is going to do it. And there he goes. Oh, maybe not. And the 48 got hung up just a little bit. There was some slower traffic there going into turn 11, and that was probably the difference between the 48 beating the 47 out, because he was in traffic.
Yeah, he was in traffic. But I'm going to tell you something, man. The 47, give those guys a tip of the hat, man. They rose to the occasion under some pressure right there.
Yeah, that was a good stop.
They're running 13th and 14th on track right now. Are Ambrose in the 47 car and Johnson right behind him in the 48.
Yeah, that's about as good as you get on pit stops right there. I mean, as far as being close to that 48 bunch.
Yeah, and here's what happened. By the 47 pitting the very next lap, it negated Jimmie's pit stop. Basically, because Jimmie's got an in lap and an out lap. They just offset the in lap and the out lap. So nobody ever got that real clear racetrack to bust off that lap.
This could get interesting right here. 48. No, he's not going to be close enough to try to outbreak Ambrose here.
I think on new tires, we saw Jimmie and those guys on old tires, the 48 car be a little bit more patient. I don't think you're going to see him be very patient. He knows now he's got to get around this 47 and put some ground between them.
Rear tires.
29 laps to go. Elliott Sadler is the race leader, but he will have to pit one more time. There you see Elliott on track. He's the 8th different leader today at Sonoma. NASCAR on TNT, proud to be bringing you live coverage of today's Toyota Save Mart 350. We are at the Infineon Raceway in Sonoma, California. Elliott Sadler leading when we went to break. He made a green flag pit stop at lap 82. And as we put lap 83 on the board, Boris said the new race leader, which brings up an interesting point. Boris, one of 4 drivers in the race today that we would label a road course ringer. Those who don't run the full series but are very good when we come to these types of tracks. The last time a road course ringer won a Sprint Cup Series race, 1973. It's been 37 years, and certainly if anyone has worked hard at it over the years, it has been Boris said.
Yeah, I mean, Boris right now, his car looks really good compared to sometimes when Boris is out there. I mean, he got ran over here last year. But I think Boris right now is running a really smart race. He's running a clean race, and he's trying to put himself in a position to be able to, for once, race these guys at the end.
Oh. Joey Logano sliding off track.
No caution.
Yeah, I'm not.
And now we have the caution.
Wow.
And it's out for our 5th time today.
That was a bad place where he ended up stopping.
Yep.
It's hard to see it on a road course, but that was a bad place setting crossways. Driver's door to oncoming traffic. They just about had to throw the caution.
That's why he dumped that clutch and got off of there as quick as he did.
You see, this is coming through the S's here, and this is where you start through the top part of the S's. Oh, he just gets hooked right here a little bit.
A little bit?
He got run over. He didn't get hooked.
It doesn't really get any more intentional than that.
That's pretty blatant right there, because he got tapped a little bit, and Joy, they were already too wide. That's not a great place to be too wide. This starts back at the real tight corner up there, and you see Juan stuff it down in there. This is not a place where you pass right here, unless you're Juan Montoya. Okay, let me say that. But he's free right. Yeah, he let him go. He let him go and then ran back into him. That's not.
Come on, clear.
I guess it's okay. Have at it, boys.
I don't know about that.
This is have at it. Oh,
I mean, he hit the curb and got in the 42, which ticked off the 42.
That's right.
And, you know, when Montoya gets mad, that's it. He stays mad.
That's it. That's it. But see, you see right here where he's at. You saw those cars go through there. He's driver's door in the dust.
And they're flying.
And they're flying when they come in. This is a high-speed area. And right here, he's driver's door. And you can't see anything. So they have to throw the caution as quick as they can.
All right, stay on the track.
Because it's a bad thing, man. See, he's just sitting right there.
I'll tell you what, McMurray has been, he's had a great seat for a lot of this stuff today.
Yes, he has, man.
That was outside the top 25 is where those guys were running when that happened. And it officially puts the exclamation point on what has been a terrible day for Joe Gibbs Racing. So much success that we documented in our Countdown to Green coverage earlier this afternoon. Kyle Busch involved in an early accident, 33 laps down. He spent a great deal of time in the garage. We showed you the pictures of Denny Hamlin involved in an accident on track. At one time, his hood over the windshield. He was driving blindly around this facility. Right now, Hamlin is 35th, and Logano has dropped to 31st after the problems you just saw with Juan Pablo Montoya.
And for all you Logano fans, I apologize for saying nice things about him, because obviously I jinxed him. Because I thought he was having a pretty good race.
He
you know
was.
What I mean? I thought Joey was having a really good race for the amount of experience that he has at a place like this.
Now let's reset this for a minute. Boris said the race leader. We talked about that. Right behind him, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Scott Speed, Brad Keselowski. The top four, not necessarily the names we would have thought would be there at this stage of the race. But what this caution does, it bunches everyone back up. Look at Marcus Ambrose. He's 5th. Jimmie Johnson is 7th. And now we check in with Larry McReynolds to get his rankings of today's fastest pit crew. What do you got, Larry?
Well, I'm going to tell you what, this caution has thrown me a curveball, because I had to do a little recalculate. But you know what? One for the little guy. I'm going to look at the 26 group and that Frankie Stoddard. I mean, they're sitting out there. They had their own strategy. This is a team that has missed some races this year. And you know what? I don't know if they can win this race, but you know they have had an awesome day. And then the other group I'm going to go with is Frankie Kerr and that 47 group of Marcos Ambrose. You know, Frankie Kerr had a strategy at the beginning of the day, and he did not waver from that. He has stuck to it, and they're sitting there in the 5th position. And how can you not go with the 48 team, Chad Knaus and Jimmie Johnson? I mean, they've led over half this race, looking for their very first road course win with this 48 group.
Don't forget at home, your vote counts each week. Be sure to text the car number to 2258 for the pit crew you think is the fastest and most valuable. The AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award brought to you by AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. You see on pit road Dale Jr. and Scott Speed both coming in here under caution.
Well, the 88 comes in. They're going to make a wedge adjustment. They had to make one final pit stop. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew giving him 4 tires. Those much-needed tires here. He should have enough fuel to get to the end now, Marty.
Well, Tony Stewart told us in Countdown to Green that he was going to go for the win today. No other need to do anything else. And so Stewart, feeling that the car is going away, putting fresh tires on here. Pitt's running 15th, so why not, Matt?
Absolutely, Marty. And we're seeing a number of teams like the 9 of Kasey Kahne coming in for tires and to top off the fuel. The 39 of Ryan Newman, they're coming in for the same tires and fuel for the run to the finish.
Fifth caution of the day. Nothing to lose for a number of drivers who elect to make a pit stop. All of these guys track position challenged in the latter stages of the race. Not a lot to lose by coming in here, and perhaps the tires they put on will be the difference as they make the run to the finish. One driver who may wish he had not come down pit road, A.J. Allmendinger, too fast on the pit lane. There you see the aforementioned A.J. Allmendinger, who recorded a top 10 finish here 1 year ago. Guess who's back? TNT Race Buddy. Log on to NASCAR.com now and watch up to 4 live camera angles at once with a TNT Race Buddy Mosaic View. TNT Race Buddy only on NASCAR.com. 24 laps to go in this 110-lap race here today at Infineon Raceway. Boris said Brad Keselowski, the top 2, last pitted at lap 67. Also in the top 5, Robbie Gordon playing strategy. He pitted at lap 68. The drivers we will watch when the green flag goes back in the air: Marcus Ambrose, who restarts 3rd, Jimmie Johnson, who goes 5th at the green flag. They have been the dominant cars here today. And you see an idea from a strategy standpoint what these guys are thinking. Fresher tires and more fuel for both Ambrose and Johnson. Jimmie Johnson has led twice today for 48 laps. Marcus Ambrose led for a stretch earlier in the race for 19 circuits around this road course that's just under 2 miles.
All right.
This could be exciting.
Cleanup done on our 5th caution of the day, and we get set to go back under the green. Boris said Brad Keselowski gonna lead him there. Restart coming at lap 87. Here we go.
He did it again.
Oh, he did the same thing, man.
Same exact thing.
Boris said off course. Marcus Ambrose has the door open.
I don't know if he doesn't clean his tires or if his tire. Oh, how about the 12 car? That's pretty well.
Oh, there's a 48.
Here's a 48. Gonna be good. And he's got position.
Battle for the race lead into the quarter. Ambrose in the 47 car. Johnson in the 48. Who has the advantage?
How about Jimmie Johnson? Doesn't want to tear up that front end and just backs off a little bit and just gives him some position. That tells me Jimmie knows he's got something somewhere. Or feels like he does anyhow.
Oh, Robbie Gordon barrels into 12 and the 12 turned right back into him.
Right side.
This is more like bull riding than it is racing right now, man.
How about Biffle? Biffle's sitting in the 4th spot right there.
Wow.
Keselowski brought out the caution with a big crash at turn 10 back at lap 65. His car is beaten up, but he's hanging in there.
Yeah, you got to give it to Brad. He's right. I mean, he's just hanging on. He's driving that thing right now.
Comes Boris back to the inside.
Boris trying to grab 5th.
Boy, that 33 got in that corner.
Oh, wait, with trouble here. The 83 went way low going in 11. It was 3 wide.
Kevin Harvick starting to gather some momentum late in the race, as is Jeff Gordon. He's racing Kurt Busch for the 8th position. .22 to go. Things have settled down, so we look at the restart from 1 lap ago.
You see Boris take off here.
Yeah, okay. He got put out there
that time. Yeah, that's good. He got put out there. Because, I mean, that's the same thing he did when he got a good clean jump. Sorry about that, Boris, man. We put you out there by yourself, but you got put out there that time.
Here's the shot off of turn 7.
Oh, I mean, Robbie's playing rough there.
Yeah. Robbie didn't give him any room to come back.
And this is the time of the race where the boys are going to start playing a lot rougher.
Yeah, it's time, because when you've got to get up front and you've got to stay up front, because when you spin or get knocked back here, there's not enough laps to go, 22 laps to go, to work your way back through here.
Robbie Gordon won this race in 2003, went on to sweep the 2 road course races that season, also getting a victory in August of that year at Watkins Glen. Has not been in the top 15 here since. He's trying to end a long drought. Montoya's had great success on the road courses. It's not been his day today. 24th is where he has scored on the track. And he too is feeling aggressive.
Yeah. Wow. Aggressive with Ryan Newman. That is pretty. I mean, he just didn't get, and he held his ground right there. You got to give Montoya that. He had the line and he held his ground. He was not giving it up to the 39. Yeah, and that's what, you know, all drivers are the same. Yeah, he's getting ready to put the bumper to this one right here. But I mean, you know, you can give ground and you can take, and there's times to give and there's times to take. Now it's time to take. I'm going to give him that. You know what I mean? I didn't like what he did to the 20 car at all, because he let the 20 car go and then got back into the 20 car. But right now he's got to make something happen for himself, because he's put himself back in the pack because of that.
Dude, that's perfect.
The spotter liked it.
Yeah.
So 21 laps remain, and once again Marcus Ambrose stretching his lead. His advantage over second place Jimmie Johnson, 0.8 of a second. Welcome back to Sonoma. 6th caution of the day, and it's for the man you see on your screen. We bragged on him, Matthias Ekstrom, but he got turned around just as we were coming back from break. Welcome to NASCAR.
I think I was mentioning earlier about these. They don't really know how to race these guys at the end. He's doing a great job. I mean, he's running clean, and they get down in here, and then it really starts to get ugly.
And right here, this is where you say they don't know how to race. He's got position right here. And that's a bad camera angle. We got position, okay, but he breaks early and lets the 12 drive back to the outside of him. A Cup driver would have just drove on in there and let it wash out all over the 12. The 12 clips the corner. They come to the same place on the racetrack and they get together. Nobody's gonna give you a quarter at that point in time.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, if
Too wide inside, 38.
If it would have been a regular in that 83 car, that would have never happened. Because the 12 wouldn't have clipped them.
Yeah, but the 12 right here would have been out in the dirt because the 83 would have drove back in and just slammed him back out to the outside of the racetrack. Yeah.
Come on, stay where you're at. Come on, keep coming. You're still green.
That's Cup Road Racing 101 right here. You know what I mean? He just learned something.
Yeah, don't be nice.
Yeah, don't be nice with 20 laps to go. But these guys, you know, you see the 12 jump back across as he comes across the curb. They're almost in the same place on the racetrack. So that's
I didn't even see that part.
I didn't see that one either.
I missed that.
Wow.
It's David Gilliland in the 38 that went around.
Yeah, that's a get away from me. I mean, brakes locking, smoke going everywhere.
Kasey Kahne does a really good job getting right through that. Look at that. That was close.
Who ends up clipping Gilliland? Oh, it's
Carl Edwards.
Carl Edwards. They're still running hard because the caution's not out. You know, the caution was not out at this time. Let's be real clear. These guys are still racing. Wow.
So as we have a caution, we step aside. This is the 6th time we've been under the yellow this afternoon. We reset things when we return.
The Toyota Save Mart 350 on TNT is brought to you by the new Gillette Fusion Pro Glide. Turn shaving into gliding and skeptics into believers. By Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way. By Verizon, the network with the most 3G coverage. By Aflac, we've got you under our wing. And by Toyota.
It's worthwhile turning my front fans off to get my front tires to come up.
No, man, nice and smooth, but just take care of those rear tires. You still got 21 laps to go.
I'm with you, but I'm really loose.
Stop spinning those tires there, man. Just remember, the more you beat those tires up, the worse it's going to be. If you got to back off a little bit, just let them go.
Very aware of that. I just have to let them go then. Hope you're okay with that.
Fine, bud. Fine. Don't worry about it.
That's the hardest thing for a driver to do, is to let somebody go. I mean, especially when you're at this point in the race and you've got a good race car, it's just so hard to do that.
We'll see if he practices what he preaches. Talking about Jimmie Johnson.
No, he won't. Not on a restart, because this is your best chance to get that position. So you've got to run them hard and at least try to make the spot up right here.
Ambrose the leader in that outside lane. Nice restart for him, but Johnson hanging tough up the hill.
You know, Jimmie, I had to protect second right there, you know, because you're hung on the outside, and you take somebody like Robbie or Biffle, they know they got to make something happen here. Ooh, Robbie just chopped Biffle down on the inside there too.
Harvick having a heck of a time.
Yeah,
Boris sit in the grass.
It backed up those guys. It backed up Harvick and those guys because man, these guys are running in the back. Where's the 2 car? Wow,
he got through it all.
Was he out there?
Yeah.
You knew by the way he got into turn 4, it was going to be interesting to see how he got through.
Yeah, good camera work there, man. They switched back really quick.
But this is, you know, this is where you make your passes. I mean, the best time you can pick up a couple of positions is on a restart. Once things get strung out, it's a lot harder to pass.
Kasey Kahne pitted at lap 86, fresher tires than anyone. The pole sitter in 8th, and a couple of spots in him. What about Clint Boyer? A part of that first caution of the day. He was outside the top 30. They stayed with it, and driver 33 in the 6th position with 16 laps to go. More on Clint. Let's go to Marty.
Yeah, great call, Adam. This has been an outstanding day for this 33 team. And yesterday, they were horrible. Clint told me, I saw him yesterday afternoon, he said, dude, if we finish in the top 20, I'll be happy. But Clint is very good at road course racing, yet he doesn't like it. I'm sure you guys have run into drivers like that. Not a big fan of it, but still very good at the skill. He has not finished worse than 8th in Sonoma in the last 3 races. Looks like it's going to be another top 10 today as well.
Marcus Ambrose has already stretched out his lead. 9/10 of a second his advantage. Saw Robbie Gordon there. He's done a nice job today, as has Greg Biffle, battling through some problems. Point leader Kevin Harvick, very consistent, running 5th, doing exactly what he needs to do. Elliott Sadler in the top 10. 9th is where he is scored right now. Another solid day for Richard Petty Motorsports here at Sonoma. 3 cars in the top 10 last season with Kahne going to victory lane. They've got a pair there right now. Jeff Gordon, the last car in the top 10. Here are the leaders into turn 11. It'll be 14 to go at the start-finish line. We mentioned Greg Biffle and the day he's having. Right now he's 4th. What about it, Phil?
Pretty solid day for Greg Biffle. Came in here 9th in points, 82 points ahead of 13th. I just talked to Greg Irwin. I said, do you have enough fuel for a green-white checker? He said, probably one. So they're cutting it a little bit closer. He pitted with 43 laps to go in the race. And hopefully they will only get maybe one green-white checker, if any, running 4th.
Another driver in that strategy situation, Robbie Gordon, who pitted 1 lap later at 68 and is 1 position in front of Biffle, being scored in 3rd right now. But right now we're at that stage of the race where anything goes. Am I right? I mean, driver mentality changes from this point on.
Yeah, it does, but you got to get to somebody first. And right now, nobody's with anybody. You know what I mean?
Good point.
I mean, there's almost everybody's 3 or 4 car lengths. But you know, if you can get position on the guy in front of you, yeah, you can't give it up. We just saw the 83 get spun. We saw the 20 get spun. We've seen people, and you go to the back. There's 14 laps left. I don't care how good a driver you are, or what tires you've got on. You're not going to come from 22nd back to be in contention for this thing.
Marcus Ambrose right where he wants to be. It'll be 13 laps to go to his first career win when he comes to the start-finish line. NASCAR on TNT back at the Infineon Raceway. We've got trouble. 2 drivers running inside the top 10, Elliott Sadler and Clint Boyer. No caution as of yet in turn 11.
That's
Boyer
too bad.
drives away, and so does Sadler.
These guys were having a really good run. I was just watching Sadler when we were in break, saying, you know, he was up, I think, the 9th spot there. See what happened.
That's Kasey Kahne to the inside of Boyer.
Ooh, Sadler. He got, he got tagged.
Wow, man.
Boy, Jeff's
on a mission today.
He really is, man. Oh, look at Boyer just letting him loose. Not very happy.
Yeah, and there's nothing, you know, but Jeff gets down in there. You see the 20. You see him. He gets right there, and boom, he takes out 2 right. I mean, these guys. That's incredible.
They were in 7th and 8th when that happened.
And Boyer can't go anywhere. You see him on the gas trying to spin that thing because he's into the back of the 19, so the 19's not going anywhere.
And guess what? His rear grip just went away for the rest of the race.
Yeah, he just buzzed those things.
Yeah.
Too bad for both those drivers.
Okay, just like you said a minute ago, this is where you can't, like you guys were talking, you got to take everything. You can't. And Jeff just took something right there. You know what I mean? So he runs down in there and gets a couple of positions. That doesn't make it right, but he just took that.
Marcus Ambrose 10 laps away from becoming the 13th driver to score his first career win on a road course. And now we have our Captain Clutch, presented by Captain Morgan. This is the pit stop for Marcus Ambrose at lap 80. 1 lap earlier, Jimmie Johnson had been in. They were running 1-2, and Ambrose able to win the battle as he makes his way off of pit road. That our Captain Clutch moment. Fans, please remember, drink responsibly. Captain's orders. And while I'm sure Marcus is quite pleased,
I'd like to know what they did under that pit stop. You know, on the 47 car, because they obviously made that car better. Whatever they did.
Whether it was air pressure, I didn't see him put any wedge in it or anything.
Matt Yoakum could let us know what they did on that pit stop.
And an air pressure change on that last stop. Now, when you look at Marcos Ambrose, he's got a home here in America and a home in Australia, and there's a huge party going on at his place. Family and friends all go to his house to watch the NASCAR races. His only complaint, they drink all of his Australian beer, and they usually use up the LP gas in his grill. On their feet, hoping this could be the day, Ralph, that he scores his first NASCAR Sprint Cup win. He's got a 2-second lead.
Well, he's got more than that too, Matt, and that's the fact that Jimmie Johnson is doing everything he can to conserve those rear tires. Chad Knaus wants him to think big picture. They're racing for a championship, not just a win here today. And Chad said, I would much rather come out of here, Matt, with a second place and a lot of points than using up those tires just trying to get a win.
This is one of those places, Ralph, that Robbie Gordon circles every year. Infineon and Watkins Glen, 2 places where he definitely has a shot to win. Currently runs 30, last pitted on lap 68. Phil, he's trying to stretch that fuel, trying to see if he can knock out a great run here on fuel strategy.
Matt, Greg Biffle's in the exact same mode right now. He pitted on lap number 67 for 4 tires. Hasn't said a whole lot. Greg Irwin turned him loose after the last restart and said, go ahead and get what all you can get now. He's in a spirited battle right now with the 29 car Matt of Kevin Harvick.
Just a quiet, solid top 5 day for Kevin Harvick. He says we have just been down on rear grip all day, loose. They've tried to correct that. We've got to spin on the racetrack.
Oh, Brad Keselowski and J.J. Yaley both going around. Some debris on the track, but out of the groove. No caution as of yet with 9 to go. Oh, now he's got fluid.
He's putting down fluid. This is putting down fluid, so this is going to be a caution. He's in the middle of the racetrack, driver door to oncoming traffic, and fluid all over the racetrack.
Keselowski, another of those drivers that had enjoyed a nice battle back day. And now we have our 7th yellow of the afternoon. Look way back in the distance. Keselowski coming off the corner.
He got into it with
Is that
the 38 car? Yeah, that's Gilliland.
Yeah, he's backwards before he gets there. That's the spoiler over there on the right.
And Yaley, J.J. Yaley, I'm not sure if he got turned or. There's the 46 car right there. Looks like he got tagged by Elliott Sadler.
Sadler perhaps taking out his frustrations from the incident that he was involved in a moment ago that was not of his making. The last thing Marcus Ambrose wanted to see, a 2-second lead, 8 to go, and a chance to get your first victory, and now you got to endure another restart with Jimmie Johnson right beside you.
Yeah, and that's going to be, you know, we've seen Jimmie win a couple of races this year within the last 5 or 10 laps, just on the restart, just being in the right place. And if Jimmie has truly saved his rear tires, then that may be something that's going to play into their hands. But you know, Marcus was really walking on him a little bit right there.
Yeah, but I think Jimmie's going to have to force the issue on this restart. Yeah. He can't let Ambrose get away if he's going to have a shot at it.
Yeah, Jimmie can't do like he did a minute ago. And look, I know if he's racing big picture, okay, that's a whole nother deal. But you know, Jimmie had position on him down in turn 4A. And kind of backed off on that after that one restart when they all got bunched up there and let him go. And then I thought he was going to come back on him, but Marcos just drove away from him. I'm telling you, the 47 car, he's been impressive, especially when he got out front. You can't take anything away from that team. And they rose to the occasion on that pit stop and on their calls and on their strategy.
I think he might be a little bit more aggressive in this situation. Only because I think the 40. Uh-oh. What's going on here?
Ambrose stopped on the track.
Yeah. Unless he's lost a gear. This is going to be interesting. Couldn't get it cranked. He's saving fuel and got to the top of the hill and couldn't get it cranked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why happens.
Because the motor's off right here.
Yeah.
Now he'll probably.
Yeah. Larry.
What do you think, Larry?
Hey, guys, there's no reason he should have to save fuel. He pitted on lap 80. That's 30 laps. Unless they're just banking that we might end up with 3 green, white checkers, they should be in great shape, especially with these cautions. I have no idea why they'd be trying to save fuel.
I don't think he's going to do that again.
Yeah, he was. I'm telling you, man. He let it roll around the corner and start up the hill and couldn't get it fired because he was on an angle. You know what I mean?
What? NASCAR may not go for him doing that and losing those spots and then going back up there.
I can't. You know, it's one of those deals that we got into a couple years ago, Larry. Remember, you got to maintain a speed.
Exactly.
And he stopped in the middle of the racetrack.
If they let him go back up there, they just gave him a mulligan.
Yeah, they did. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Jimmie Johnson riding second as we sit right now on track, and more on him with Ralph.
Well, Chad Knaus, the NASCAR official here, talking about what they can do, and it looks like he just got a gift. He just said, Chad Knaus said, you just got the gift for the day. That's it. It looks like Marcus was not allowed to go back to his spot.
Yeah.
So that is absolutely huge.
That is very big, but that is the rule.
That's the rule. We got into that a couple of years ago at a couple of guys trying to get to the end of the race, starting and stopping, who beat who back to the line, who was this, and that's the rule. Marcus started around the corner here, and when he did, the car was cut off. When he coasted up there, it would not fire. He had to pull over. They went around him. He lost positions. You have to maintain speed. That's in the rule book.
See the NASCAR officials also down in the 47 cam. An obvious disappointment.
That's a huge mistake
for them, but you know, you can't argue this rule.
No, I'm not arguing the rule. I'm just saying that's a huge mistake.
Oh, absolutely, no question.
You can't.
No question.
And don't get me wrong. We've seen some strange stuff here. Jeff Gordon getting passed on the racetrack or on pit road by the 42.
Yep.
It's explainable. We can go back. They can explain it. You know, the teams can explain it. The drivers can explain it. Some of this stuff is explainable. This is explainable also. Okay, there is a rule. You have to maintain fuel. He cut the thing off and let it stop.
And I'll bet you that Marcos doesn't know the rule.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
He does not know that rule.
Yeah, look, drivers don't know rules.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, that's just the way it is. You just know. Okay, so there's 1 car, 2 cars, 3 cars passing. Really, 3, almost 4 cars passing. He should be back somewhere in that area. Now it's going to be interesting to see where they set him up. If he's 5th or 6th.
Okay. They're putting him behind Kasey.
And Kasey Kahne was 7th. Phil?
You know, guys, this may be one of the biggest mistakes we've seen since Mark Martin pulled down pit road on the last lap in a Busch race at Bristol. And Kyle, I disagree. You are supposed to know the rules. Marcus Ambrose is supposed to know that he has to maintain caution speed.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying you're not supposed to know the rules. I don't know the rules. That's what I'm saying, Phil. No, you're exactly right. And you know, there's certain rules that all drivers know. I mean, from being in your pit box and how things work. And there's certain, you know, we laughed about it during the All-Star event this year, that the drivers didn't know what the segments were, how it was going to work, invert, not invert, how they didn't care. They just go out and run as hard as they can lap after lap. And a lot of times that's the driver's mentality. You just go and drive the wheels off of it, and that's what he's done today. He has driven the wheels off of it, and now he's going to be beat by a technicality, or stands a shot of getting beat. You know, it's kind of like, I'm not a soccer fan. I'll go on record and say it, but the World Cup and the final call and bringing back that the third goal the other day, which was a 2-2 tie. Sorry, man. That's just the rules. That's the way it works, man.
He's way out of his element.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
You know why
you should stop while you're behind.
You know why
right
they
now.
play soccer in Europe and not here? Never mind. I'm not going to answer that question. Go to Kyle's Corner and you'll find out. NASCAR.com.
Your name's Kyle Petty, not Pele.
I didn't say it was, man. But I'm going to tell you what, I agree with Phil. That may be one of the biggest mistakes since Mart pulled in. You know what I mean? I mean, that is huge for a driver to make a mistake like that and take himself that far out of the race.
Yeah, you've got, what, we got 5 laps to go. And the guys he's got to pass are no slouches right now.
Ambrose will restart 7th. Jimmie Johnson, the race leader. Robbie Gordon, the 2nd. Greg Biffle, Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, the top 5. And last year's race winner and pole sitter today, Kasey Kahne, restarting in the 6th position.
And he's starting next to 24, who's been a weapon all day.
Yeah, he has been a little bit of that.
Jimmie Johnson's never won on a road course.
I'll tell you what, yeah, you got Robbie Gordon set up there. He's done a great job today. He's awfully hungry. And when you put him in a position where he's got a shot to win, there's not going to be too much give on this guy.
Johnson chooses the outside lane. The restart comes with 5 laps to go in the Toyota Save Mart 350 at Infineon Raceway.
Good restart by the 48.
Yeah, he's been good at all day on those restarts.
Yeah, he clears those guys and leaves these guys 2-2. Good move by Robbie right there.
Got right back in there.
Yeah.
Jeff Gordon able to get around Marcus Ambrose 4-7.
And with the 47, it's frustrating. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You can't do anything. Oh, these guys
Jeff
are getting
out. There comes Ambrose off track.
Well, they're still not done.
2 and the 24 are going at it right here.
Sharp elbows for Jeff Gordon today.
Yeah. These guys are not giving anybody any room. See Jeff come on. Oh,
there goes Ambrose into Burton. The 31 goes around. Off track, but no caution as of yet.
How many times have we seen Jeff Burton make it to 5 to go with a decent run and somebody or something happened to him?
Look at Jimmie Johnson picking him up and laying him down.
Robbie Gordon is driving that thing right now for all it's worth. Not sure he's got the tires to do it either.
I don't think he does. You saw the 29 roll in on him through that corner. But the 29 here gives him room to get down in this corner.
Yeah, well, the one thing that's really hard to do on Robbie is outbrake him.
Yeah.
You know, Robbie will drive a car down into the corner.
You're not going to outbrake him or outbrave him when he gets to a corner. And no matter what tires are on that thing. That was pretty good racing right there.
4 laps to go for Johnson. Marcus Ambrose still in 7th, 1 lap after the restart.
I tell you, if the 7 can pull it off, this is a huge point day for those guys after missing a race.
And you know, and you look at the 29 car. Big day for these guys too. Leading the points. They've just come in here, been solid all day long. And you know, I don't know on the $1 million game who picked this Robbie Gordon to finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th, but they're the man, whoever it was. I'm gonna tell you that.
And you got Biffle up there sitting in the 5th spot. That's a great run for those guys.
Great run. Here's 2 Fords in the top 4 or 5, which is a big day for the Ford contingency because they've struggled. Robbie smoked it right there. You saw the smoke behind it, and you know, Harvick, look at Harvick, man. He's all over this thing. But Harvick's giving him plenty of room to make mistakes and recover. Harvick's not forcing the issue.
Carl Edwards, a winner yesterday in nationwide competition. Late race misfortune today.
Back to the 31.
This is absolutely, and this just kills you. 4 to go, and you go from 7th or 8th to 27th or 28th, whatever it is.
Jimmie Johnson, plenty of room to work with as he goes through the dangerous turn 11. Behind him, teammate Jeff Gordon to the inside of Greg Biffle. That for 5th.
That was picture perfect right there as far as making a pass at turn 11. That's the way to do it.
Some of the other ones haven't been picture perfect. Okay, so let's be honest. Let's be honest.
And Jimmy's just driving away from these guys right now. And you know, the 7 might be holding up these guys a little bit, but hey, 3 laps to go. You gotta do everything you can to protect that position.
Yeah, he may be holding them up a little bit, but he's not holding them up much because that 9 car's not catching that 29 and beating the bumper off it yet either. Now the 7's in block mode right there, which is okay, man. Which is okay for right now. He's protecting that position, and it's okay. With 4 or 5 laps to go, everybody's protecting everything they can. I hate to see that 6 laps into a race.
Yeah. Saw Jeff Gordon go around Greg Biffle in turn 11. Marcus Ambrose also able to get around Biffle. So Ambrose up to 6th. There will be 2 laps to go when they cross the start-finish line. Last time around, Jimmie Johnson's lead over 2nd place Robbie Gordon was 1.7 seconds. We'll see what it is here. You saw Johnson pass the start-finish line. Gordon goes by 2.4 seconds the advantage. Less than 2 laps to go for Johnson.
You can just tell by watching the cars. He thinks they look like they're on ice right now. Other than the 48.
Other than the 48.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And look, and let's be honest. The 47 was the same way. The 48 and the 47 have been the class. Robbie's has smoked that right front in that corner every time. Oh, Marcos misses a corner right there. Drives in on the 24.
Through the S's. And when they make it through here, through turns 10 and 11, they will see the white flag.
Yeah, 29. Trying to get as close as you can through turn 10, because that's where you got to be if you're going to try to pull out on Robbie. He's about a car length away, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Maybe for another lap, but that lap he just wasn't quite there.
Yeah, Robbie's just protecting the inside. You can see the 29 is a little bit quicker through here. But if you're going to pass me, you're going to have to do it on the outside.
Yeah, and Robbie's in protection mode and getting that thing straight. He's getting that thing straight and getting on the gas. He's really beating the 29 up off the corner because he's getting a better exit. The 29's getting a better entrance, but the 7's taking his line away right now.
No green-white checker today. Last time by was the white flag for Jimmie Johnson. All he has to do is nurse it home, and he will celebrate victory for the 4th time in 2010.
Let's see, we'll watch Robbie in this next corner where he's been smoking that right front. And what he's doing is he's taking a protective line, too. He's down on the inside. Not this time, though.
Robbie Gordon in second, Kevin Harvick in third, Kasey Kahne in fourth. Final lap for Jimmie Johnson as he takes it through the S's.
See Joey Logano pull off to the inside there. Looks like his car is done.
Jimmie Johnson expecting his first child in less than a month. Today, a Father's Day he won't forget. Bobby Labonte off course. Jimmie Johnson not concerned about that. For the first time in his career, he's going to win on a road course. Johnson wins the Toyota Save Mart 350 at Sonoma.
Get out, thank you, boys. Woo!
Fourth win of the year for Jimmie Johnson. Robbie Gordon was able to hold off Kevin Harvick for second. Kasey Kahne was fourth. Jeff Gordon in the top 5 as well. And disappointment for Marcus Ambrose. He winds up sixth, guys, on a big mistake.
This is one that you're not going to forget if you're Marcus Ambrose. I've lost races that way, Kyle. There's just silly things that happen, and these are the ones that are hard to get over, especially when you've had a dominant car.
Yeah,
or one of the dominant cars.
And look, you hear drivers talk about it all the time. Getting beat is one thing. Getting beat, when you beat yourself, then that's the only person you have to blame. You know what I mean? Great team. They did a great job today. They rose to the occasion, man. They just got nothing to show for it. And it's sad, but congratulations to Jimmie and these guys.
Going to be some good reaction after this one. We've got it for you when we return on TNT. Entering 2010, there were 6 tracks where Jimmie Johnson had not won. He's crossed 2 off the list. 11 races ago, he won at Bristol. And today he celebrates victory for the first time on a road course, taking the checkered flag at Infineon Raceway. And we showed you as Jimmie Johnson came to the checkers. Bobby Labonte was spinning.
And watch the 17 on the inside, right to the right. It's really strange. I mean, it's almost like his throttle hung. I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, this is not a...
Something was definitely wrong there. I'm not sure what it was, but it's just, he came flying on the inside like he couldn't stop. Yeah, he backed it in there pretty good.
Man, tore the tire barrier right out. Best run for Robbie Gordon since Watkins Glen in 2005. He must be happy, Phil.
Robbie Gordon, with all that's gone on this year, with not much sponsorship, what does this second place finish mean to you?
Well, it was a good run for us. A good run for the monster Toyota. You know, the guys pulled through. We knew the road race would be a good opportunity for us to win. We just came up about 10 laps short on tires. You know, I've been beat so many times here at Sonoma late in the day just because of you know, either stopping too late, caution not coming out. So we were one of the first to stop. We just had to save fuel. So like Jimmie, he did a great job, but he had about 10 lap better tires than us, and that was the difference of winning and losing.
Great job, buddy.
Thank you.
Back upstairs, Adam.
Thank you, Phil. Win number 15 for Hendrick Motorsports at a road course. More than any other team. Jimmie Johnson getting to victory lane for the 51st time in his career.
You may have noticed there's no left rear, but that's because of burnouts.
Yeah. He paced himself when he needed to, I guess. He's ready to climb out. Let's send it down to victory lane. Ralph Shaheen.
Well, Rick Hendrick is down here. Jimmie Johnson's getting ready to crawl out. Mr. Hendrick's going to lean in real quick and congratulate him here. Come on out, Jimmie. Let's celebrate this big win. Take his head and neck restraint off. Here he comes, a 4-time champ as a winner on a road course finally. celebration begins on, I'm betting it's going to be a long one. Well, you finally won a road course. Tell me what went through your mind when you saw Marcos Ambrose pulling off to the side going up the hill.
Thought he broke or something. I don't know what was going on, but you know, unfortunate for him, he was the fastest car there at the end, and I know he's kicking himself for whatever went wrong there, but he had to maintain pace car speed, and they said he had to go back behind the 9, and I said, okay, I'll take this, and off I went, and I had a great day.
Well, you keep piling on now to these Hall of Fame caliber stats that you've got here. You've crossed off the road course. How good does that feel?
Feels so good. I mean, I've been working really hard to get better as a road course driver. And I think Bob Stallings and Alex Gurney and John Fogarty and Kyle and all the guys in Gainesville Racing have been working with me and letting me come run their Grand Am car. It's been a big help. On top of that, Hendrick Motorsport's been working so hard to get better at this stuff, and we've tested again and again and again, and we're getting better. I'm getting better, and we got all the tools here. So it's an awesome day. I want to say hi to Shanny. She's at home. She can't travel right now. Happy Father's Day to my dad, and it's also my mom's birthday. So one heck of a day.
You really had to save those rear tires, and Chad stayed on you to keep those tires as long as you could, and it paid off at the end there because you had to fight Robbie Gordon, the guys off on that last restart. But that had to be tough to do to save those tires.
It was, especially with the 47 driving away. I'm like, man, I felt like I was better than him throughout other parts of the day. So I wanted to go, I wanted to chase him, but Chad was doing a good job of talking to me and letting me take care of my stuff. And in the end, it's what I needed to do, because if I beat up my stuff, the 7 or the 29 could have been there on top of us at the end.
Congratulations, pal. You're a road course winner. How about that? Finally he is, Phil.
Yeah, Ralph, a great day for Jimmie Johnson. Another good day for this guy, Kasey Kahne. Kasey, you started from the pole. It looked like the beginning, though, your car was a little bit off.
Yeah, we were really loose on the right-handers. We came in, and Kenny Francis, Keith Rodden, they did a great job of adjusting the car and helping me a lot. They helped me the first 2 stops, and then we were pretty fast. I felt like I was probably 2nd or 3rd place car there behind Harvick at the end, but we had a great day with our Budweiser Ford, qualified 1st, ran 4th, and it's good, man. I love this racing. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of craziness out there. I mean, there's things happening at times. You're like, man, I don't know what to do, and then you either make it or you don't. We were lucky and made it through a lot of little wrecks today.
Great job, Kasey.
Thank you.
To you, Matt.
And what a day for Jeff Gordon. Brings the 24-car home 5th. How would you describe your run here in Sonoma today?
Crazy, you know. I mean, we had an awesome race car on the long runs. And we needed those long runs. We weren't very good on the short runs. And on the restarts, you know, you just get used up. I mean, just guys making it 3 wide, and I'm as guilty of it as anybody. You know, after they started doing it to me, I had to do it to others. And, you know, there's some things I'm not proud of that I did today, certainly with Martin. I mean, I completely messed that up. And, you know, I'll try to patch that up. Other things that happened out there, I felt like were just really, you know, hard racing incidences. And, you know, we fought as hard as we could to bring the DuPont Chevrolet home 5th.
You've been involved in incidents like this in the past, on both sides of it. How do you handle it between now and New Hampshire with Martin Truex? Because he was pretty upset about the incident.
He should be, you know. And whatever's coming back to me, I understand. You know, when you blatantly, you know, get into a guy like that, you can say you're sorry all you want, you know. And I certainly had no intentions on what was happening with him. I had the 42 behind me, dive bombing me into the braking zone, and where I made a mistake was trying to outbrake him. So I'll try to explain that to Martin, you know, and you know, I feel terrible because Martin races me and a lot of guys clean out here. He had a good run going, and I ruined that for him.
Right, Jeff Gordon 5th today here in Sonoma.
I mean, that's one thing I like about Jeff. Yeah. He mans up to stuff like that, and he realizes that he did wrong. But, I mean, you got to give a guy like that credit, especially as much as he's done in this sport, you know, that he's honest about it.
Yeah, look, I give him credit because I called him out on it. You know, he running all over. So when he gets out, it's good to know when a driver gets out that they know what they did wrong, and that's big.
Unofficial results highlight 6th place Marcos Ambrose. We hope to hear from him. And then what about 11th and 12th? Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jan Magnussen.
Well, how about 8th? I mean, you got to give a call out to Borisset,
no
too.
doubt.
He did a good job. He kept that thing clean all day long, and he brought it home, a nice finish.
Now some of those disappointed about how things ended here today. Allmendinger battled back nicely.
Jamie's car tore all the pieces on lap 10, and he struggles back to the 15. That's big for that team. Points-wise, that's big for them. It's a big day for them.
David Reagan inside the top 5 at one time after starting 42nd. Doesn't work out for him. You saw Burton there in 27th. He too disappointed.
Yeah, Boyer back in 31st. Yep. He had a good car and got caught up in some messes today. Kurt Busch, another one.
33rd.
Kurt Busch was a top 5 car. I'm really not even sure what happened to him at the end of the race.
Kyle Busch completes the dismal day for Joe Gibbs Racing. Started 27th, Never got it working. Finished 39th unofficially here today. Kevin Harvick, the point leader. He had a good day, Matt.
And what a day for Kevin Harvick. Brings the 29 car home in third. If you could have got around the 7, coulda, woulda, shoulda, could you have reeled in the 48 of Johnson?
Yeah, it really all started when the 26 kind of got off the track there, and I got shoved high and off the course, and I got shuffled back. But I felt like I could run with the 48 when it was time to go. I just wound up getting back there and getting my car beat up a little bit, 6th, 7th, 8th or so, and just a great day for us. Did what we needed to do. I had good strategy, Gil and those guys in the pits, and the car handled good all day, so good day for us.
The championship leader, another example of how they've taken it to a whole nother level in 2010.
And TNT tonight, it's finally here. A new season and a new reason to get more leverage. Don't miss the Leverage 2-hour season premiere event tonight at 9/8 Central, only on TNT.
If you want to find Marcos Ambrose, go to the Golden Gate Bridge, because that's where he's standing right now.
We have a winner in the line of the day.
Wrong. That is wrong, man.
We just heard from Kevin Harvick. Biggest point lead of the season. Harvick 140 in front of Jimmie Johnson, who jumps 2 positions with his victory today. Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin on the slide. And then we look at the back end of the top 12. Stewart able to jump a spot.
Yeah, there's that Jimmie Johnson up to second. You know, and I thought his demise was imminent.
The slump.
Yeah, the slump. I thought the demise was imminent. But then we see these guys back here, Dale Jr. You look at these guys, and if you go by my man in the 20th there, that's one race. 161 is Larry McReynolds' number. That's one race. You can have a 161 point shift in one race.
Newman, Boyer, and Earnhardt Jr. all inside of 100 points of the top 12 as we get set for Loudon next week. Back downstairs to Phil Parsons.
I'm standing by with Greg Biffle. Greg, a solid day. You had solid strategy, but it looked like there were too many cautions at the end, letting all those guys catch up because you guys had enough fuel and you stretched it to the end.
Yeah, we had a really good car, and you know, I was good if I could use the whole track and kind of do what I needed to do to get the drive off. But I suffered like everybody else from the drive off, and that's probably my worst trait with road racing is you know, using up the back tires. So that's unfortunate. You know, I don't know what happened. I was speeding on pit road, and I must have been in the wrong gear. I don't know what I did wrong. We were about 10 miles an hour or 8 miles an hour too fast in one segment. So not sure what I did there, but I screwed it up anyway. But bring it back home in the top 10, 7th place. Pretty good job, 3 and 4 Fusion, and the guys just did a good job. I saved a lot of gas there, and you know, just ran out of tire at the end. Those guys had better tires.
Solid day in the points, though. Came in here at night.
Yeah, I mean, we're really happy with that. We need to keep chipping away at it. You know, we want to make it in the chase. We got a good car and a good team, and off to Loudon.
All right, thanks, Greg. Back up to you, Adam.
Phil, a moment ago we showed you the unofficial results and some curiosities up here as to why Kurt Busch was shown in 32nd. And here's the reason why. Late in the race, a restart.
Yeah, because I had no idea what happened to the two. I guess we didn't see this. And oh, that's right. That's what we did see. Yeah.
We saw him get together, but he dropped from here. I
don't think this is over yet.
Yeah, it must not be because he dropped from here all the way back to 29th or 30th. That's how Burton got it.
Yeah.
Jeff Burton going around.
Yeah, the two just got run into, and I don't know if it broke something. Might have cut a tire.
Yeah, it looks like it did.
Yes.
Looks like the left rear.
Looks flat on the two.
Kurt Busch fell 2 positions to 6th in the standings. Now we hear from Marcus Ambrose, Marty Snyder.
I'll answer it for you as a right rear on Kurt Busch. Let's get Marcus Ambrose. First of all, why cutting the car off? Because fuel wasn't really a concern, was it?
No, I just got told to, and you know, it's the first time I tried to re-crank it there on that left-hand bend uphill, and I just didn't refire. So my bad. Just feel really disappointed. You know, I mean, I don't like the call, but it is what it is, and you know, I should have had the motor cranked up, and it would never have been an issue.
Were you aware of the rule that you have to keep pace for the pace car?
Well, I kept rolling, but you know, it's a judgment call. You know, I know the rule. I didn't stop. The car kept rolling. It's just it's uphill like 40 degrees. So, you know, I was just trying to get the motor cranked, and it is what it is. So, terrible way to finish.
Well, you took a moment to cool down. How do you put this behind you, Marcos?
Oh, I'm just going to go home and see my wife and kids and give them a hug, and you know, we'll get them next week.
All right, thanks, Marcos. He spent a lot of time in the hauler, guys. Wanted to calm down, and obviously a very disappointing 6th place finish.
Yeah, you got to give him. He did. He rested. He gave himself time to calm down, and that's big. That's big. Because I've mouthed off at everybody, and we all have. Everybody has. but you see him, he's coasting up the hill here. And you know, like he said, you know, I never came to a stop. I think when he sees this, he'll realize he came to a dead stop.
Yeah.
In his mind,
time. Yeah.
in his mind, he never came to a stop. And look, when you think back on it, it's bad, but you got to give the guy credit for stepping up and talking to us. We appreciate that.
That dropped him from 1st to 7th. He eventually finished 6th. Next Sunday, NASCAR on TNT heads to New Hampshire. Coverage begins at noon Eastern with Countdown to Green. That's followed by NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing from New Hampshire, presented by Captain Morgan. That's next Sunday right here on TNT. Up next on TNT, in the East, War of the Worlds, and in the West, Law and Order. Head to NASCAR.com right now for the NASCAR on TNT post-race show. Interviews, analysis, and more live now on NASCAR.com. We had a first today, Jimmie Johnson winning on a road course. Congratulations to him and the 48 team. With Kyle Petty and Wally Dallenbach and our entire NASCAR on TNT crew, I'm Adam Alexander. So long from Wine Country.